It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. And Commissioner, thanks for taking time to join us. Appreciate it. Man, what a busy time of year. Golf championships coming up at Prairie View. Soccer starts on Monday. Volleyball pairing show on Sunday. And week number 7 of high school football. What a busy weekend for everyone. Yeah,
it's really been a great fall, Coach. And, it's, things are coming. It's fun to get out and watch these student athletes. They've been obviously started way back in the summer,
right?
Developing their skill set with their coaches, and this is a time of year where you hope all that extra work pays off a little bit, and it's really exciting. And the golf tournament this weekend is going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be a record setter. We've already had some tournament records set on the way through the sectional round and the way to get to the state finals. And another thing that we kick off this weekend is our unified flag football, and that starts across the state this weekend. And, that's an incredible program that we have where, we have traditional student athletes pair with other teammates from their school that have an intellectual disability, and they compete together as one, and it's really a phenomenal program, and we'll be celebrating the state championship in that sport here real soon.
I think the phenomenal part about unified flag football going back is it was a student-driven initiative. They took it upon themselves to begin the process to get this recognized as an IHSA sport, and it was a groundswell of support amongst kids around the state of Indiana to do this, which I think I admire their resolve and their perseverance and how they went about making this happen.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job, and I was around when that originally got started, and it was and Commissioner Cox at the time challenged students to bring something to the table that they could do with our student advisory committee, 19 kids from around the state, and this is what they came up with. And then what's cool, it's become a national model. There's many states that have developed a unified program over the years now, and we continually see growth, and again, it's great. And everybody says, the one thing it does, it changes the culture of your schools, and it allows students that didn't get to eat at the so-called cool kids table during lunch, and now they're all together, and it's just been a phenomenal addition to the sport offerings that we have.
All right, week 7 of high school football, and then on the 12th of October, the pairing show for the upcoming state championship. I can't believe we're at that point of the year.
It is. It's here, and let's go. That's kind of the theme. Let's go. It's going to be. First of all, I look forward to the pairing show. It's an opportunity to learn some things about high school football with our talented team of experts. And you're certainly the lead of that, Coach. And and again, it's fun to celebrate the students' the athlete successes. And there's not a pairing show for the AAU tournament coming up, and there's not a pairing show for a lot of other things.
Right.
But there is for high school athletics that are education-based, and we want to make sure we protect this along the way.
He's the commissioner of the IHSAA. It's Paul Neidig. Our weekly conversation about all things IHSAA related. We always remind you, go out, buy a ticket. I remind you to buy 2 instead of 1. Make your contribution on a daily and weekly basis to help fund our athletic programs for our student athletes around the state. Commissioner, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Coach. I look forward to our weekly conversations.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and Coach Bob Lovell. And thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Come and visit the Mishawaka Historical Museum and make sure to check out all of their different exhibits, such as their industries and businesses, church and faith, historic landmarks, military heritage, school, and their famous Mishawakans exhibit, including some of our very own caveman alumni, as well as a working model train set and a brand new exhibit, Treasures from our collection. Located at 121 South Main Street, doors are open every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. $5 for entry for adults, $3 for students, and kids under 5 enter for free.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Get your costumes ready for the Mishawaka Trunk or Treat. It's a safe, fun, and spooky good time for all elementary students. Join us Saturday, October 4th, held in the staff parking lot at Mishawaka High School from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. for an evening of treats, decorated cars, and costumes. The Mishawaka Education Foundation is looking for candy donations to help make this event a success. Your help makes a difference, and we'll see you there.
Welcome to Steel Stadium for another beautiful Friday night of Cavemen football. I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Matt Rendell, bringing you this matchup between the Warsaw Tigers and the Mishawaka Cavemen here in Steel Stadium. Mr. Rendell, how are you feeling tonight?
Excited, kind of hot. It's an unusually hot October as we're getting ready for broadcast, but it's exciting. It's a nice night. It looked like a little rain might come through, but it looks like we're free and clear of that. But you got Warsaw coming to Mishawaka, always an exciting game. Mishawaka wearing their grays, which is a fun game. So exciting here tonight. You can just barely see Isaiah over here to my right as we're getting ready for a broadcast. So we prepped. We feel pretty good. This is the most prep we've done for any game so far. We watched a lot of film today. What are some keys of the game for you, Daniel?
Well, one of the big things is we see that Warsaw's kickoff kind of setup is very unconventional.
Different, yeah.
You see that they kind of flip-flop a little, too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they go conventional. Sometimes they go with the squib, onside look.
Yeah.
So
that's honestly a classic Bart Curtis. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a hook and ladder tonight. He loves that play. So you just never know what is going to happen in a Warsaw-Mishawaka football game. Triple option, maybe a lot of running clock.
Yep.
Lots going on. But let's talk about last games. Who do we got for the Cavemen in their last game?
Cavemen took on the Northridge Raiders over in Middlebury. They defeated the Raiders pretty handily.
Yeah.
Gave up a last-minute touchdown, made the final 35-20. But the Cavemen came out of that one. Big game for Caden O'Neill, 4 touchdowns he had in that one. And it was just another.
And you were out there.
Yeah, I was there on the sidelines. Another showcase of that explosive triple option offense that the Cavemen run week in, week out.
We tried to warn them. We have some football players in class who said, hey, Northridge hasn't won a game, but you've got a lot of things going on here that they probably could have won some games. So, and they played them tough, as we thought they would. and the Cavemen have got a tough one here tonight. Warsaw was playing at Plymouth last week, and we watched that kind of a weird game. Warsaw had a big lead, gave some touchdowns up late, but Plymouth had some chances. They had some open guys that they missed. They threw some interceptions. So it looks like a blowout in the scoreboard, but it was a 2-possession game, 9 minutes to go. Plymouth had the ball and with some chances.
Right, yeah. It was definitely a lot closer than the score showed. And really, in the stats showed, there were a lot of missed plays, missed opportunities for on the Plymouth side in particular. And same with Warsaw. There were some mistakes they made that they're going to have to try to tighten up in 6 days before they take on the Cavemen, because they will exploit them.
Yeah. So we're excited for football here tonight, Daniel. We've got lots coming your way. Band will be coming here soon at 6:45. We're going to take a quick break. Kira's going to take us to commercials here. Kira's running the show first time. First time running the show, football. And then we'll come back, get you some starting lineups, some extra motivation for some football here tonight as we get ready for Mishawaka and Warsaw.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Come and visit the Mishawaka Historical Museum and make sure to check out all of their different exhibits, such as their industries and businesses, church and faith, historic landmarks, military heritage, school, and their famous Mishawakans exhibit, including some of our very own Caveman alumni, as well as a working model train set and a brand new exhibit, Treasures from our collection. Located at 121 South Main Street, doors are open every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. $5 for entry for adults, $3 for students, and kids under 5 enter for free.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, welcome back to Steel Stadium. Once again, I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Matt Rendell here. He's getting the stats hooked up.
We're getting ready.
We can make sure to record and have the best accurate stats for you throughout the entirety of the football game. We got to talk about something big here. We're both here.
Yeah, we got it.
We got the Friday night 5G lights. Of course, if you're, when you wake up and you're putting on the coffee or when you're getting ready to go to bed and you're like, man, I forgot to vote for something.
Right.
That very
right,
thing.
there you go.
To vote for Mishawaka High School. Our football program is up again amongst 24 other schools in the nation to win $1 million to help out our program. 5G lights here. T-Mobile did a very cool thing, and we worked for it. We got the 25,000 already, but now we're trying to get the $1 million, the big bucks here. So make sure to go ahead and vote. Every single day you can vote. There may be a little thing that you can tweak with it as far as, putting in your email. Make sure if you want to
put in the emails,
if you want to create an email for your pet, do that.
And let's do this now. Kira's going to get that graphic back on, hopefully on DDR or whatever it is. You'll see a QR code come out throughout the night. We'll talk about it. There's lots of things going on for that. So hopefully there we go. Look at us. Look at that. I ask and it delivers. We are in it, So you can scan that QR code. You can vote as many times as you want. You can vote every day, put different emails in there. Anything you can do to help us out. We're talking about it in volleyball last night. We talked about it tonight. We'll talk about it forever. We talked about it on the newscast today. If you watch the newscast, newscast is a good time. So we are excited for the chance to win $1 million. We're way behind right now, but you got to work hard. And listen, if we always just gave up when we were behind,
that's right. In adversity, that like they say, pressure makes diamonds.
There you go.
It's gonna build us into being a good program and being a good community to get that $1 million there. We also talked about it on Mishawaka Game Day.
That's true.
That was
Yeah.
also posted yesterday, I believe. Make sure to go check that out. Sorry, this morning.
You're good.
It was posted. Go ahead and check that out. Myself, Lucas DeWilkins, and Will Mason, 2 football players that you'll see on the field here shortly, and Evan Lynn, a broadcasting student, also a cross-country runner who will be busy tomorrow morning over at Oxbow in Elkhart. So make sure to go check that out.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that now. We got lots of events coming up, and this is a big time of year. Girls golf has finished up. They had sectionals at Knollwood. They're complete. They actually finished 2 weeks ago. Golf season starts so early. It starts August 1st. And so they're finished. Boys tennis just finished up this week. They lost to Marion in sectionals. Both those teams are losing some seniors and need a lot more members. If you want to get involved in a sport here at MHS and you want to join the boys golf team or the girls boys tennis team, or the girls golf team, they're always looking for new people to join. Let's get to our other sports. You'll hear on the radio tonight if you listen to Pulse, Ava Stopsinski did a sectional update, which is just updating you, and we'll do that right now. Boys and girls soccer, they'll be playing this week. Girls are at LaPorte. They will be playing LaPorte, so that's an exciting one. And the boys will be playing Concord. They just lost to Concord 5-0, but they've played a lot better at the end of the year, which has been really a good sign. And then this Sunday on IHSA TV, you can watch the volleyball draw, and the volleyball team is hoping to get a good draw there. And then the football team will have their draw a week from Sunday. So lots of sectionals coming up as we get ready. And as you were talking about, cross-country runs where? Oxbow over in Elkhart there. Daniel, you're going out there? Have you been to cross-country meet before?
I have not.
Okay. It's a challenge.
I'm in for an experience.
We drew the map on the board today. We showed you where everything was. Evan knew the course.
He did.
Evan was ready to go. So Daniel will be going out there. Also tomorrow, you're going to another event. What is that?
It's going to be the MEF Foundation's Trunk or Treat. It's going to be here at Mishawaka High School, and the MHS Show Choir will be making an appearance there from 4:30 to 7. Make sure to tune in. We've got a couple of broadcasting students, names like Anna Yoder and Ava Stopsinski. They are going to be a part of that show choir performance.
Hit that full screen video. There you go. I turned you down. Sorry, Daniel.
No worries.
Keep going.
So make sure to tune in. Again, the MEF does a great job. The Mishawaka Education Foundation does so many things. So make sure to go ahead and show up if you have time. Now let's go ahead and keep your attention on the screen.
There we go.
So we've been looking at, while I'm talking about Trunk or Treat, we'll talk about K-Men offense right now. Colin Hanley, a guy who plays both sides primarily, will not be playing both sides to start the game. We'll talk about that when we show the defensive guys. Let's hit some of the more important portions of this offense. The big one being the offensive line. You see a name that's usually there, not there. That's Chase Camacho over at right tackle. It's going to be Manny Rodriguez for the third week in a row. So make sure to look out for that kid. He's a junior. He's been doing a great job these past 3 weeks filling in the shoes of Chase Camacho. And that offensive line there may not be huge, but they're very, very quick, and they're very good at executing what they want to execute.
Correct.
Colin Hanley and Anderson Cannon, 2 speedy guys, were able to block corners on the outside. Carson Francis there at the tailback position. On the other side as well, Mason, another broadcasting student. And then you've got the 2 stars of the offense, Landon Snyder and Caden O'Neill, the guys who make the triple option work. And make sure to look out for them. That's somebody who Coach Curtis, in our meeting with him earlier this week, said that they were looking out for in film all week long. They make that triple option as explosive as it is week in and week out. They're going to have to look out for them.
Yeah, and then we get to the defense. You're going to update us a little bit. We got the starting lineups this morning, a few changes. We'll get to you, but for the most part, you're looking at those linebackers. The linebacking core is huge. DeMig, Putz, Clemente, Preciado, they've had a big year. They're not big. They're not tall. They don't look strong, but they're fast and they'll tackle. And that's what the Cavemen rely on. On the back end there, Ginter and Amir Dean, who's been kind of a sensation for the Cavemen as the young sophomore. They're going to core that kind of safety group. But we got a few updates on the front line and then on those corners.
Yeah, let's check it out real quick. Colin Hanley, like I said, he's usually somebody all season who's been playing both sides of the ball at corner and wide receiver. But tonight he will not be starting. Instead, the Cavemen will elect to have a 4 defensive linemen set up on the defensive side. It's going to be Garcia, Wiley Stevens, and Isaiah Hummer. Colin Hanley will be on the bench for the defensive snaps to start the football game. That is your defense there, all complete. The Cavemen defense that flies to the football. So you see two sides of the ball that the Cavemen have very, very complete. They both had their individual respective seasons so far. And honestly, I'm excited to see how they match up against another triple option offense in Warsaw.
Yeah, it'll be a fun night. We're just about ready. The Warsaw team running off the field there. We can see them running kind of on our other camera. You see them going off the field there. Band's getting ready to come on. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're going to hear the band. You're going to hear them do school song, national anthem. Actually, national anthem come from the choir.
That's right.
Forgot about that. We'll get that coming to you right after this break.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Get your costumes ready for the Mishawaka Trunk or Treat. It's a safe, fun, and spooky good time for all elementary students. Join us Saturday, October 4th, held in the staff parking lot at Mishawaka High School from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. for an evening of treats, decorated cars, and costumes. The Mishawaka Education Foundation is looking for candy donations to help make this event a success. Your help makes a difference, and we'll see you there.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Ron's great road automotive. When you expect the best, you rely on your vehicle every day, so you deserve what you can to keep your trust. Ron's is a full-service shop, from oil changes to alignments and everything in between. Professional, reliable, and affordable. Family-owned and operated since 1997. So for that clunk, loud, pain, or squeal, make your appointment today at Ron's Great Road Automotive. In front of the world of great in Catawba.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Hello, cavemen. It's Dr. Jordan with Connect Family Healthcare. I'm excited to be part of the Cavemen Athletic Team. Our office offers a visual activity for both children and adults. So we come plenty of consultations today. We take our business seriously and ultimate goal is for smart and real kids. For more information, visit our website, www.blackfamilylocals.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Marching Cavemen. We advance under the direction of field chamberlain Bob Roberts. The color guard is under the direction of Caitlin Stutzman. Our dance team is led by Sarah Keene and Lily Schnapp. Our drum major is Tom Shaw. Please join us in welcoming the Warsaw Tigers. Now down your feet for the big band and the Mishawaka fight song. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem. Performed this evening by the MHS Chamber Choir under the direction of Rachel Such.
Wow, what a beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by the MHS Chamber Choir. We know a few of those faces there, Mr. Rendell. Happy to see them doing the great job that we knew they were going to.
Absolutely.
Now we're about a little under 8.5 minutes remaining until kickoff. And boys, it's going to be a good one. This is a matchup we've been looking forward to all season long. It's one that we circled on our game schedule right when the schedule came out early last school year in the spring. So we're very excited here. The storyline is always going to be when Warsaw and Mishawaka meet up, is that Bart Curtis and Keith Kinder relationship there. They're on the same coaching staff here in Still Stadium every Friday night for a number of years, and they have a strong relationship. They talk every Friday, all 51 weeks of the year, except for that 52nd. This week here, they do not talk Friday nights before football games, as they usually do. And they talk throughout the week, he said. They're still very close. And seeing them on opposite sidelines, I'm sure for hardcore Mishawaka fans that were there during that time period, the Bart Curtis era here, it's still pretty odd, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's an exciting time here at Mishawaka. You've got 3 games left here in the football season. It seems like it just started, but we got 3 games left. Tonight, probably the biggest one because of the storylines. Warsaw has always been good. They've beat us more than we've beat them since we joined the NLC. And then you've got Plymouth coming up next, who's kind of fighting to stay in it, right? They had a good start to the season, but they've struggled a little bit lately. And then end the year on senior night with Wawasee, who fell to Goshen last week. So this is the biggest game, both because of the stakes in the NLC, Mishawaka undefeated in the NLC, but also because of the storylines. Bart Curtis coaching here for a while. He lived right down the street from my parents, so they knew him. Just a good guy. You met with him, kind of a quirky guy. Yeah, he's got some sayings. He's got the way he talks is very interesting. You know, he's a good dude though.
Yeah, he definitely is a very respectable, impressionable human being. It was fun talking with them. A lot of the stories we heard about Coach Kinder, it was very fun. Coach Kinder likes to say that Bart Curtis does not like his winning percentage. He hates it even, and that's because he has that common theme of scheduling tough opponents in week 1 and week 2. Which he did this year with Fort Wayne Snyder, a team that won the state championship in 5A 2 seasons ago. And then, of course, Warren Central, a team that's had a very, very good run these last several seasons, actually.
Decades, probably.
Yeah. Several seasons. And that's the reason why they're 4-2. They also fell to Concord in a tough loss. An NLC game, 38-7 was the final of that one. That was a few weeks ago, and that was, to everyone's surprise, including Coach Curtis, and he talked to us a little bit about that. And he said it was also kind of a positive thing for his football team. It's something that teaches you. It's a lesson. Okay, we come into this game, we're Giants in the NLC, we're facing another Giant, and these games are never a foregone conclusion until that final whistle blows. And when the final whistle blew, they were down by 31. It's not where you want to be, but they're trying to bounce back and keep that NLC loss column just with 1 in there, and that should only be Concord. They're trying to get it done here tonight and make sure they don't advance to 2 losses in their own conference.
With that, Daniel, we're going to be getting ready for hype video as the team's ready to run out, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after this.
Nothing but green grass ahead of them. Touchdown, Cavemen. with me now. L-O-D, 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 L-O-D.
And here come the Mishawaka Cavemen. They're ready to go to work here, running through that cheerleading sign that they work all week so hard on, and then the football players just go ahead and run through it, tear it up. You know, that's part of it. They go to the student section and perform their own rendition of the school song. They get very, very excited. So does the student section. They get ready to go. It's Blackout, the theme there in the student section, and I personally think, I'm biased, but I think we have the best student section here in Mishawaka throughout not just the whole Northern Lakes Conference, but throughout the entire state of Indiana. They do a great job of staying hype and getting our players motivated before the game and letting them feel the glory after. They're really ready to go. I can tell. There's a lot of guys that we talked to this week, Mr. Rendo, including Coach Kinder. They're just so excited for this matchup because it's a big statement game throughout the entire Northern Lakes Conference.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one here. We got a lot going on. We got a lot going on up here in the press box, too, but we are excited for Mishawaka Cavemen football, as I'm going to get this spelled right, you know.
Yeah, we got it.
And I'm going to get the stats. They're getting ready to do the coin toss. One of the things we learned through the business is the coin toss already decided. Who's getting the ball, Daniel?
Mishawaka Cavemen will be receiving here.
Cavemen will be getting the ball here, so we're going to change that possession to Mishawaka. Isaiah's running our new board here. He's got it. There he goes. What a guy. So we are getting ready for the game as the Cavemen look to get off to a good start here at home. A beautiful night, beautiful field. What are you looking forward to most here tonight, Daniel?
I'm looking forward to seeing the battle of the triple option offenses. I want to see who performs the best, who runs the offense the cleanest. Coach Curtis said that this offense, unlike any other, is the most selfless offense that you can run in the sport of football, and we'll see who's the most selfless here tonight and who makes the best decisions.
And it wasn't just selfless by the players. He said, you've got to be selfless as a coach because you got to make sure to call the plays that are going to work, not the ones you want. You don't want to run a bunch of trickery, mess it up too much. You saw that a little bit in that Concord loss where they were behind the sticks and they're trying to throw the ball and going for it on fourth down and not able to get it. And so you got to stay in front of those. You know, you can't get in those third and longs, right? But then you also have all the other things going on with the game because you've got the emotions, you've got the stakes, you've got all those things. And so he said it's also about selfless as a community, right? Because you want the high-flying, air raid offense.
That's
but
right.
you have to be selfless as parents. Hey, my kid might not get a lot of carries tonight. We talked to Will Mason about that. Some games he doesn't touch the ball. And that's okay because it's part of the offense.
That's right. And like you said, that's part of the idea of being selfless. So it's going to be a huge deal to hear. We talk about the decision-making and how quick they are. That's all in the hands of the quarterbacks. That's all in the hands of Snyder and Brock. So we'll see how they hold that responsibility here tonight. It's a lot leaning on this game here, especially for Warsaw. You go and you lose in that fashion to Concord. That's one loss in the NLC column there, and that's not what you want.
You see the coin toss there. They're going to shake hands. Shout out Miss Starkweather out there.
There
Got
you
some
go.
exceptional learners, some other people out there. Looks like Coach Kinder's son might even be out there. Just a exciting group out there for that coin toss. We get some nice hugs, handshakes. We talked about emotions. You were at the game last week. The emotions ran over towards the end.
Yeah, that's right. There was some lacking control being displayed there on both sides of the football. Some late hits and then some scraps going on. And it's not what you want. Pushing and shoving is something that you don't want. And the Cavemen, we've seen them a couple of times this season have that flag thrown for unsportsmanlike, and it goes ahead and pushes them back or pushes the opposing offense forward. It's not what you want. So they're going to try to go into this one here a week later more level-headed than they were over in Middlebury.
Yeah, and they're going to do the best they can. We're excited for the game. We got lots of information to give you throughout the game. Evan Lynn helped us out today, kind of compiled all the information. What a guy. This is the 20th meeting, thanks to Roger Grossman from Warsaw, 20th meeting of the Tigers and the Cavemen in varsity football. The Cavemen joined the NLC in 2020. And in the last 5 matchups, Warsaw's won 3 of the 5. So Warsaw has had the Cavemen's number a little bit. They don't meet anymore in the playoffs now that Mishawaka is down in 4A, and Warsaw is actually down as well in 5A. They were up in 6A for a little bit. Warsaw made that state finals last year.
That's right. And last year they also had the Caymans number more recently in their matchup over in Warsaw, and that final was 21-13. So the Cayman lost by 8 points there. One possession still, but that's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It would have been a tough one for them. And you saw that triple option just get the best of that Cayman defense in a way that we didn't see nearly at all last season.
Right. So exciting times here for the Cavemen as we get ready for kickoff.
And what do you know? The Cayman are receiving. Warsaw is kicking it up and away, and we are underway here in Still Stadium. That one's going to find the hands of Brylan Houston. He's going to go ahead and signal for a fair catch, and the Cayman will start things off at the 20-yard line. So this Cayman offense, they'll be the first ones we see run the triple option today, but as you've heard many times from us already, they will not be the only ones. The team on the other sideline will be doing the same thing. Just a matter of who's going to run it more selfless and just downright the best. So Landon Snyder and Caden O'Neill going to be the two key players here on this offensive side, as they are in every matchup involving the Cavemen.
I don't know. Caden O'Neill just started running off the field, and now he's back. I don't know what that was.
I'm not sure either. But they need him on that field, so let's hope he stays on there. Getting ready to go, and he's going to get the ball first, stumble forward, past the 25-yard line, and they'll mark him at the 26 for a gain of 6.
Yeah, good run to start the game. What you want is the ball to move forward. If you can get 2 yards, if you can get 3 yards every play, that's a first down every time, right? And so 6 yards is better than 3.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I'm killing it.
They're already ahead of the game here. Let's see if they keep this going. Caden O'Neill is really good at running up the middle. There's the misconception usually with people that don't know the game of football is, why do they always run it up the middle? Well, Caden O'Neill is a good example of why. He's going to try it again, and he's making guys miss. Almost breaks free, stumbles past the 45-yard line. They'll mark him over at the 47.
Yeah, you're going to see a replay. Logan Webb on our tight follow camera. What a play. He's got it. There it is, and just running through tacklers there.
And he's got that strong lower body. Yep. He's hard to bring down. He just kind of sometimes he's like, all right, you want to hold on, come along for the ride, or he just breaks you off of him.
Well, and that looked like an easy run, and all of a sudden it's 22 yards down the field.
That's right. Now he's going to get the ball again. They're going to feed the hungry runner. He's going to charge into enemy territory, be brought down just past the Warsaw 45. And the clock continues to run here.
And we're seeing a nice replay of this guy there. There we go. As we're going to, we're working out some new things here.
So Caden O'Neill has gotten the ball 3 downs in a row, and it's been a big play 3 downs in a row. So let's see if he gets it again. He's somebody that honestly doesn't need a lot of rest. He's willing to keep going. He's one of those premier workhorse backs. Landon Snyder's going to give it to him again, and this time it's not going to fare as well. Looks like he's going to go for it and get the first down. So the chains will move. Even so, he's going to get just the 2-yard gain there, but still moving the chains is your main objective, and they got it done there.
Yeah, and it's just been Caden O'Neill just feeding him the rock right now. Yeah, 2 yards isn't a big deal, but you get a first down. And if you're in the Caveman offense, that's what you're looking for.
Right, very quickly in enemy territory. Only took 3 plays. Keep in mind they started at the 20-yard line. Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, get to the outside right. He's got one man to beat. He's going to leap over him and go out of bounds. Once again, in high school football, that's something that cannot happen. We've seen that many times before. You get the flag there for jumping over somebody. Now, it was a nice-looking hurdle. Little Jordan Love-esque. I hate when he does that, and the referees hate when Landon Snyder does that as well. Again, high school football, it's a safety thing. You got to make sure you're not jumping over players, especially if they're standing straight up. And you're seeing a little pause here because they're talking about it, and also –
well, that's a penalty.
Right, yeah, it's easy.
You just can't hurdle somebody. You can hurdle somebody that's on the ground.
Right.
If somebody's down low, you can jump over them. You can't hurdle a standing player. And they're actually calling holding.
Yeah, they'll call holding on offense.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there.
So it was a good run down to the 20.
In other news,
got to assess the penalty.
we saw Will Mason be a nice teammate and tie the shoes of Caden O'Neill's.
go.
Shoe came untied in that play.
So that's going to move him back, but the holding's pretty far down the field. Well, maybe not. Actually, they're going to call it at the line of scrimmage. So they're going to mark it off 10 yards back from pretty much the line of scrimmage.
Okay, so that'll back them into their own territory. Let's see where they place this. Looks like they're going to place it.
Oh, my gosh.
I thought at the
Yeah, they marked it off, and now they're
49,
debating about where it should go.
This is odd, Mr. Runda. Usually we don't see officials take this long.
In pretty much every game this year, we've had a lot of confusion on the field, a lot of confusion here in the press box as well.
So let's see. They're still debating on where they're going to mark it here.
They called holding.
Again, the call is holding.
Yeah.
So still trying to make sure they get this right. Trying to make the right
They're
call.
still talking about it. We want to say we love the refs for coming out here and doing
Yes.
this. If we could move it on a little faster, that would help all of us, I think.
I'd have to agree with you there. Based on holding, which is usually a 10-yard deduction for the team that performed the penalty, it's going to be 10 yards. So I'm assuming that it should be the 49. As the ball was marked at the Warsaw 41. So it will be there. Okay, awesome. 10 yards, exactly what we thought originally, and exactly what that official thought originally. But then there was another conversation afterwards, and they thought maybe more, but we're back.
10 yards is what we got. That's what we thought.
That's what we thought because of holding, but there we go. Moving forward is Caden O'Neill rumbling through the crowd of Warsaw defenders. He's going to get 6 yards there and be marked at the 45, so just like that, the Cavemen are back in Warsaw territory.
Okay, so 1st and 20, rush, Caden O'Neill. There we go. Now we're talking. We're in business now, Daniel.
Let's keep it rolling. Hopefully no more interruptions here. And as you said, Mr. Rundle, this may be one of the shortest games that we see the Cavemen play all year just because of that triple option offense on both sides. They're always running the football. Landon Snyder under center. He's going to go ahead and keep that one himself. Dive forward. Brought down at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good tackle there. They get him down at the 42, so now you get this 3rd and long, but you're in that kind of no man's land. You're not going to be kicking a field goal from here. You might want to try to run 2 plays, right, to get a first down. So if you can get 5, 6, maybe even 6 or 7 yards, you could go for it on 4th down.
That's right. If you could hear the smile in Mr. Rundle's voice like I could, you would see that he may be referring to something. Not really sure what, though. Landon Snyder under center. He's going to hand that one off to Caden O'Neill. He has some space. He's going to rumble forward, still on his feet, past the 35-yard line, rumbles towards the 30, marked down at the 32. Wow, I don't know.
He was going down pretty early, and then he kept his feet somehow. You see him there. It gets almost to the 1st down, so now it's going to be 4th and 1 at the 32.
That balance, incredible.
Unbelievable.
There. Something that you're seeing that don't adjust your television or your phone or your tablet. That is Camden Putz there on the right side, helping at split end. He's a good, versatile athlete, so right. I assume they like having him there to block.
Timeout.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and call a timeout. It's going to be Mishawaka. Coach Keith Kinder wants some time to evaluate some things on 4th and 1. Maybe they go for it, maybe they don't. We'll see when we come back here on the Mishawaka Network. All right, and just like that, we're back a little sooner than we thought. We're seeing that offensive huddle there. Coach Keith Kinder and Kyle Shaw trying to determine whether they want to go for it here, 4th and 1.
Yeah, I don't imagine there's much of a choice right now. I think they're definitely going to go for it. It's just a question about what do you do when you go for it.
Right, what play call you're going to go with here. And I would agree with you. And we see the offense is trotting back onto the field. There was really no question about it.
Yeah.
So from the 32-yard line, the K-Men will go for it here on 4th and 1.
QB sneak.
And they'll drive forward, and they'll definitely give that one to them. They'll mark them there at the 30, and the chains will move. Caveman first down.
Yeah, and that's a classic play by both Coach Curtis and Coach Kinder.
Yeah, big play there. A gutsy call on 4th and 1. Play clock still rolling.
We're trying a new clock here. It's not quite right. We're at 7:27. Isaiah's getting us there tonight.
And going to drive forward is Caden O'Neill for a gain of 3 yards there. Make it 2nd and 7. You're going to see that happen a lot. Caden O'Neill just going to try to find a hole, and sometimes, you'll see him and say, well, he only got a gain of 3. To be quite honest with you, most fullbacks, even just in this league, in the NLC, wouldn't even get 1 yard there. So that says a lot about his lower body strength and how he is as a football player. And Caden O'Neill's going to get it again. Put a shoulder down, drive forward towards the 20-yard line. Mark short at the 22. So that's 2 yards short of the first down marker. So 3rd and 2 is what we got here with 6:30 remaining. Again, the clock not where we want it to be here on your end. Here in Still Stadium is just now hitting 6:15 in the first. And up the middle is Caden O'Neill.
Close. Daniel, who ran that last one?
Last one, that would have been Caden O'Neill there.
Again?
Yeah, he's
the one
still
before
running the
that
ball.
too. Jeez. Okay. He got to the 23. They give him a first down there. There it is.
They do give him that one. The chains will move, and they'll mark him at the 20. So 6 minutes here. And if you're feeling upset about our clock, it's not going exactly smooth here in Still Stadium. So it does happen. The clock is a difficult thing.
We're getting there.
And now Caden O'Neill's going to get it again. Find his footing. Amazing balance. Get dropped back. Still stay on his feet. Brought outside of the playing field there short of the 15-yard line.
I mean, an unbelievable run. Look at him go here, just spinning around, throwing guys off. He might have lost yards. He might have lost some progress there, but it's just an unbelievable run.
That's a lot of work for 3 yards. But you know what? They're still in good shape here.
Well, and those are the plays that, now you got to compress that defense, and then that opens up those lanes, the outsides for Francis or Mason or even Snyder.
That's right. 2nd and 8. 5 minutes remaining, and Landon Snyder has the ball. He's trying to get to the outside. Breaks off a guy, and he's brought down just past the 10-yard line at the 9 by number 20, Parker Sweet, on the tackle there.
Yeah, you saw good work. Camera almost lost that one, but Snyder was able to bounce it to the outside, get a first down. Now it's 1st and goal.
So now, for the first time today, the Cavemen will have an opportunity to score. As they are now deep into the red zone. Ball marked at the 8. Under center is Landon Snyder, and Caden O'Neill is going to get met by a wall of Warsaw defenders. Not sure if he got there to the 5-yard line. Yes, he did. They'll mark him right there.
Yeah, that's a hard 3-yard run right there. And this is where the field compresses when you get into that red zone. You got to hope, that you make it work.
Now Camden Putz jogging off the field.
Oh, he was on the field.
And Colton Hanley will gain back his split end position here. So let's see what they do here, Mr. Randall. They're 5 yards out from the goal line, and they've got a lot of plays in their set list.
Yeah, they
see which
do.
one they run here. Caden O'Neill's going to get it again, dive forward, brought down to the 2-yard line. And that's not a bad one to choose there.
Well, and now again, if you're giving up 2 yards, you're at a point where he can score from here. But you also got the QB sneak. You got the kind of Landon Snyder to just on the inline there, right? You've got some of those other guys that you can get the ball to. But I wouldn't be surprised if Caden O'Neill gets it again.
That's right.
He's been a workhorse on this drive.
He's run the ball many, many times here already. Believe it or not, we're already under the 3.5-minute mark. And that's going to be a touchdown. Landon Snyder is going to dive his way in for a 2-yard touchdown run and the first Cavemen touchdown here today. 6-0 is your score at 3:22. Huge play there. Landon Snyder, that offensive line, and, of course, Caden O'Neill for sure. Very tired there. That was nearly a 9-minute drive.
Our clock is pretty much right now. Let's go.
Awesome. So now we've got Blake Vandenberg out there to seal the deal here on that drive. The point after, Drew Ginner there, the holder. And that one is calmly through the uprights. 7-0 is your score at 3:22. The Cavemen strike first. A very, very long, grueling drive, but you know what? They get it done. They strike first. Now Warsaw has to respond. Let's see what Coach Curtis and the Tigers bring here coming back on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Just like that, we're back here at Still Stadium. The Cavemen fresh off that touchdown drive there. 3:22 remaining. Real quick shout out to one of our lovely sponsors in Forte Waterproofing.
Absolutely. Guess what? Scheduled my appointment. Forte's coming out to the house November 1st. They're going to fix a crack I have in the basement there. Reasonably priced, really good service.
There you go.
There you go. That's real life sponsorship right there.
That's right.
That's no lie right here.
All right. So you know what? We're as credible a source to let you know that Forte Waterproofing is legit. Blake Vandenberg is going to go ahead and perform a little squib kick there. It's going to go out of bounds. And the Warsaw Tigers will take it at the 35-yard line. That's something we usually see Warsaw do.
That's the debate we always have. I might be the 40 in high school football.
Is it the 40?
We're going to find out here in a second. We know most of the rules.
Yeah.
It changes based on what level of football you're playing.
I believe it's the 35 if I've watched enough film, but we'll find out.
You might be right. He's going to the 35. You're the man.
Awesome.
Way to go, Daniel.
You know what?
Don't ever listen to me.
These broadcasts are quite prestigious, so I got to make sure I'm, as sharp as I can be. All right, so we will hear from this Warsaw offense for the first time.
Yeah.
Quentin Brock. And he's going to go ahead and hand that one off up the middle to the man's name that we're going to be hearing a lot, Brody Duncan. I believe that's the ball carrier there. Gain of 2 only on that one. Alex DeMay is going to wrap up the ball carrier.
Yeah, it looks like we got the wrong number on there, but I think you are right.
We'll see. And that one's going to be kept by Quentin Brock. He's going to go up the middle and be brought down shortly after at the 39-yard line.
And we talked to Coach Curtis about, hey, what do you got to do? And he talked a lot about the quarterbacks. Both teams, this offense relies on the quarterback. Yeah, they're not throwing the ball, but they've got to make that count, right? They've got to get those yards in order to, make this offense work. And right now they've got a big play already on 3rd down.
That's right. Let's see if they can convert here. The money down is what they call it. Some motion, and Brock's going to keep it himself. He's going to get the first down and more. Brock on the outside. Amir Dean is going to push him out. Bounds there just past the 40-yard line, the Caveman 40. So they are in enemy territory marked at the Caveman 38.
Yeah, really good run there. We're just missing him off screen. There he comes as Brock got it to the outside, and a big run, and that puts him in Mishawaka territory already.
So that's a huge play there. 3rd and 5, if you're able to convert there, you're making a statement. Let's see if they can continue that here. Again, Caveman 38-yard line, enemy territory very soon, just like the Cavemen. Going to hand it off up the middle, and that's going to be the same ball carrier that we were just talking about. Excuse me, I believe that's Michael Schenk.
I don't know. We're going to get a roster real fast and check that out.
I believe it's Brody Duncan. That's who I was told.
Yeah, I think the numbers are switched on our...
Oh, we've got Michael Schenk on here. So we'll go with it. And we've got a little pause here, trying to make sure everybody on the offensive side for Warsaw knows what the play call is. Maybe some audibles going on here. Yep, we're seeing that from Brock. And he's going to go ahead and hand that off to Schenk again, and that's going to be well past the 30-yard line, marked at the 32, but we've got a flag. The clock stops at 1:07. Ken Clemente is going to wrap up the ball carrier there. Let's see what this call is.
Yeah, we're still waiting on a call here. He got to the 28.
Wow, they're going to call an unsportsmanlike on Mishawaka Caveman. That's something we talked about just a few moments ago. That's something you got to watch out for, because now Warsaw gets 15 free yards.
On top of that run. I think that might move it to the 14.
Wow, that's not at all what you want.
And we're still having a huddle here. This is a very strange...
and everybody here in the press box, a little far from cheerful, to say the least.
Yeah, it's not the calls. We don't know what's happening now. The calls are fine. It's the time it's taking to get those yards marked off, and they're debating and they're having all of this, and we're trying to figure out. I think it's going to go to the 14.
Let's see where they mark it. Look at you. Maybe you should be out there wearing the stripes and the hat. So now.
Okay, 1st and 10.
They have, well, the Cavemen have propelled the Warsaw Tigers into red zone territory here. So now they're looking to score. Let's see if they can get it done. Again, a little surprised that Michael Schenk is out there right now, but.
Yeah, I don't think that's who that is, but we're going to find out. At the break, we're going to ask.
Diving forward is the ball carrier, and he's going to be short of the 10-yard line, marked at the 11 for a gain of 3.
Yeah, and those are good runs. This is the Caden O'Neill we talked about for the Cavemen. 2, 3, 4-yard runs are pretty good. You can't, negative yards are what kills you in this offense. And if you can keep it moving forward, you can usually get those first downs and or touchdowns.
Now the clock is still rolling. Now hitting 20 seconds remaining in the first. And that one's going to be up the middle again. Number 44, the ball carrier, and he's not going to get much. Marked down at the 8-yard line. So let's see if Warsaw, yeah, obviously they're going to let this one run down. They didn't have much time anyway, but let's see if Warsaw is going to respond as the ball flips sides of the field, going towards the beautiful backdrop that the school shows for us. So now, moving on to the second quarter, the Cavemen is still up 7-0. Let's see what Warsaw does there at the 8-yard line when we come back on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we're back here in Still Stadium. The Cavemen really trying to make sure they work there on defenses. That unsportsmanlike call really propelled that Warsaw offense. I was already off to a very good start. They had the explosive run from Brock to convert on 3rd and 5, and now they just kept handing it to Schenk, and he's been getting 3 yards.
So Schenk is the fullback. We did get that confirmed.
So let's see if they feed to him again and try to get a nice explosive play to match that Cavemen touchdown on their first drive. Fresh new 12 minutes of football remaining, and that one's going to be up the middle. He's going to be brought down just short of the goal line. They'll mark him at the 1. It's a big play there. They're going to mark him at the 2-yard line. And Schenk really just able to power through, just like Kenny O'Neill.
Nobody's touching him through that hole, and he's just a bullet coming out of that backfield, and he's able to get 3 yards before anybody's close to him.
That's right. And that's a hard thing to defend.
Absolutely.
That's why people love this triple option offense.
100%.
Brock again under center. Motion, and he's going to dive forward himself. Not sure if he got there. There may be a ball out. The Cavemen have got it. No whistle is blown. The ball is live, and it looks like Amir Dean running it all the way back home for the Mishawaka Cavemen. He's at the 10, the 5, and now he has entered the end zone. The Cavemen score.
There were whistles, though.
Let's see if this gets called back or not. The clock didn't continue to run. I heard some whistles, but it was so loud in here. But still, it may have gotten called back. And if it did, poor Isaiah Hummer having to run all the way back. As well as Kenton Putz, Drew Ginner, and obviously Amir Dean.
Well, and are they going to say he's down there at the 1?
I'm not sure. I don't believe so. He was kind of being propelled by offensive and defensive linemen, and the ball just comes out.
Quite a good replay, but I'm going to look back on the stream here.
No,
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
I believe that ball is clearly out.
It looked like it might have been coming out.
I don't believe he got on the ground there.
Yeah.
But they'll bring him back to the 1 and say that he was down. Bring him back to the 2, excuse me. And dive forward up the middle.
They're going to say he didn't make it.
That's at the goal line. Wow. So they'll say a gain of 1 here.
And they may not want to go back to that sneak. That's where they're almost coughing up the ball for a touchdown. You almost think the quarterback might do kind of a, just a hike over to the side a little bit, try to get in behind another lineman there, but we'll see what he does here. The Cavemen, I'm sure, are putting everything on the ground, or everything on the run.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good play to guess here. And he's going to hand off to Schenk, who's going to dive forward, but he's going to be...
That's in, but that's actually Brody Duncan in the game there.
Excuse me, number 43.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice the change.
I know.
He's going to dive forward and into the end zone with 10:23 remaining in this first half. So the Warsaw Tigers strike back with the different fullback than they had throughout the entire first drive. So not what we were expecting there. But nonetheless, the Warsaw Tigers respond. John Conley, the freshman kicker, is out there. And that extra point is up and good through the uprights. So now it is tied up at 7 here in Steel Stadium. The Warsaw Tigers respond to the Cavemen here. 10:23 remaining. The Cavemen will receive here shortly when we come back on the Mishawaka Network.
Get your costumes ready for the Mishawaka Trunk or Treat. It's a safe, fun, and spooky good time for all elementary students. Join us Saturday, October 4th, held in the staff parking lot at Mishawaka High School from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. for an evening of treats, decorated cars, and costumes. The Mishawaka Education Foundation is looking for candy donations to help make this event a success. Your help makes a difference, and we'll see you there.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium here on the Mishawaka Network. And we're going to get that feel for you here shortly. There it is. Kira Foley doing a great job. We're getting the hang of things. So, the Warsaw Tigers, as we said before the break, they strike back here another long drive. Not quite as long as the Cavemen first opening drive, but that one was it was a grueling one for sure. They get it done. A little help from the Cavemen defense on that unsportsmanlike. And here's what we've been seeing on film, that little squib kick. And that one is fielded there at the 30-yard line. He's going to move forward and be spotted at the 38. I'm actually not quite sure who fielded that one. I believe it was Drew Ginner. I did see a one, so that has to be Drew Ginner. He was in the general area.
They're saying Carson Francis.
Excuse me, never mind. I don't know where I got the one from. Maybe Drew was helping block there. So Carson Francis, my apologies there on the return. And the Cavemen will set up shop at the 38-yard line. So nice ball position there for the Cavemen to start things off. So let's see. I'm sure the offensive lineman and Kane O'Neill are hoping that this one isn't as long of a drive as that first one. And they'll hand it off to Caden O'Neill, who's going to charge forward to the 40-yard line.
That's a hard, tough run as we got a timeout. Injured Warsaw player, number 22, it looks like.
Somebody that's considered one of their big key players there. That's Fletcher Poe. So he got injured there while making the tackle. And again, he's one of their best at the will position. So they'd like to have him back as soon as they can. Hopefully he's all right. He was able to walk off the field himself. So we'll see if he's able to shake that one off and come back on the field here shortly. Another handoff to Caden O'Neill, driving forward, breaking tackles, lunges past the 45 mark at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, good hard run there, and that gets you a 3rd and short. Exactly what you need.
That's right. You can get a gain of 7 there and say, hey, we only need 1 yard with the ball carriers that they've got. I think they'll be just fine here as long as everything runs smoothly. Clock's still running. We're at 9:20 here in Steel Stadium. And that one's going to be to Caden O'Neill again, making guys miss. Doesn't get brought down till he reaches enemy territory. He's brought down at the Warsaw 44 for a Cavemen first down.
Yeah, real good run again by O'Neill, and they have been feeding him. Right now he's got 15 rushes for almost 100 yards, 92 yards already here in the first half.
Let's see if he can keep this thing going. We'd like to say that it'd be kind of a rare thing for Caden O'Neill to reach 100 yards rushing before the halftime buzzer, but that would not be true. As Landon Snyder's going to get to the outside, got some space, makes a guy miss. Maybe a face mask call, but he's got room. He's not worried about another guy to miss, and he dives into the end zone, walking freely untouched. Landon Snyder brings the Cavemen up to 1 score again on the lead. huge play there. Landon Snyder he gets a guy off him. The guy grabbed his face mask. He still kept running, found space, made sure to maneuver, showed off that wonderful footwork, and jaunts his way into the end zone for an explosive Cavemen touchdown. Once again, now they're once more up by a possession. Let's see what they elect to do here. They've got the field goal team out here. Excuse me, the extra point team. Blake Vandenberg just got to kick this extra point up and through the uprights, and they are once again ahead by 7 points over the Warsaw Tigers. Still getting something worked out with the officials here, and whistle is blown. Now we're set up and ready to go. 8:40 is your time here in Steel Stadium on the clock, remaining in this second quarter. That kick is up and good for the extra point. So the Cavemen now leading by 7 once again with 8:40 remaining here in Steel Stadium in this first half. Score 14-7 in favor of the men in maroon and gray. Let's see if they keep this thing going, and let's see how the Warsaw Tigers respond here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back. Here is Blake Vandenberg's going to boot that one away. That one is fielded, and he's trying to find some room. He's brought down just short of the 25-yard line as there's some extra after the whistle shoving there from Walker Hahn. Want to make sure we're wary of that. That was number 29, Wyatt Harmon there, primarily a defensive back for the Warsaw Tigers there on that return. So now the Warsaw Tigers with 8:33 remaining in the first half get the ball once again for the second time this evening. They have to respond to quite the play by the Mishawaka Cavemen, an explosive run from Landon Snyder. Let's see if they can do that effectively. Up the middle is the fullback. And that one, let's make sure we know who this is. And we get it right. That was Isaiah Hummer on the tackle. I do know that for certain. I believe that was Tucker Reed there on the run. Yes, it was. Tucker Reed there, the ball carrier, number 5. And up the middle this time, some hard hits up the middle. Still short of that 30 marked at the 29. And the ball carrier there is that fullback that we thought, or someone else at a certain point, that's Brody Duncan. Getting the rub there. Excuse me. 3rd and 5 now. Ball at the 29. Now, we saw the Warsaw Tigers make a big play earlier on 3rd and 5. Let's see if they can do the same thing here. And Brock's going to keep it himself, look for some space, and he will get some. Will they respond with this same exact design play? Brock, nothing but green grass ahead of him, and the Warsaw Tigers strike back and fast. Quentin Brock found space, attacked, and had so much room between him and the nearest Caveman defender.
Yeah, not much happening there for the Cavemen in terms of tackling. Brock hit that hole, got it to the end zone. We saw that in a few of the games they played previously. He's hit some holes, and he's able to get to the end zone.
No doubt about it. We saw how they performed against Plymouth last week. I'm sure there are a lot of things that Coach Curtis liked, but there are some things that he probably didn't like. 71-yard touchdown. That's what they'll call that one. And I'm sure Coach Curtis really liked that one.
Right.
And that one is up and good. The freshman kicker will boot that one up and away. Once again, that's John Conley. And now we're tied up a lot sooner than we thought we were going to be. We saw a few kind of same runs that we were seeing from Duncan, and then we see an explosive play. He finds room, and Brock gets it done. Matches the Cavemen here with 7:04 remaining. We'll keep it here. We've seen a lot of things so far, Mr. Rendell.
Yeah.
We've had some difficulties, but we've still been keeping our focus on the game. What are your takeaways from both these offenses so far?
Right now, both offenses running at full speed, right? Big play there. That's what the Cavemen wanted to avoid, but their offense is looking excellent right now, right? They've been able to do whatever they want, get those yards, and a lot of it on the back of Caden O'Neill.
That's right, and obviously we see Quentin Brock, as he said, I mean, wow, what a play there. Finding space, over 70 yards there on that run, and what a statement, what a response there. You see the big play from Landon Snyder, and you're like, man, this Caveman offense firing on all cylinders per usual in Steel Stadium. And then you see the Warsaw Tigers and Quentin Brock respond, and the way that they did, that says a lot about how this game could go. Once again, 7:04 remaining. Caveman prepared to receive here. Brylan Houston and Amir Dean, per usual, back there in the end zone.
After this kickoff, we're going to get you a few score updates here with Isaiah, so I'm going to hand that over to him so he can prepare. Some exciting games going on around the NLC and the NIC tonight.
That's right. Most of those games we covered on Mishawaka Game Day. Once again, check that out if you can under the Mishawaka Mishawaka Network's YouTube page. And that's going to be a touchback. And now we're going to go hear about some of those games. Isaiah and Mr. Randall, what do we got?
We got Concord and Goshen. Concord up 14-0. Northridge and Wawasee. Northridge up 7-0. Plymouth and Northwood. Northwood missed the extra point to make it 13-0. Penn leading Elkhart 14-6. St. Joseph leading 7-0 over Riley.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. As we saw there, a touchback.
One more game we're going to look at is Marion New Prairie. They're at New Prairie in Central Time Zone, so we'll start a little bit later.
Let's see how this Caveman offense decides to respond here. Marked to the 20 after the touchback, and Landon Snyder off the big play. Thought he was probably going to get some more time on the sideline. He does not. He'll keep this one himself. Try to dive forward, gets pushed back. They'll mark him for progress at the 24-yard line for a gain of 4.
Yeah, they're getting him all the way at the 25. A little surprising spot there, but they're going to give him 5 yards, and that's what 5 yards is what you want. You got 6:40 left to go here in the half, and you can try to run this clock down, try to score before the end of the half.
I was surprised there with the ball marking. The official went to the 24 initially and then backed his way up. It said forward progress. He did make his way to the 25. Half the distance gain there to the first down marker. And Snyder will keep himself again, riding the hot hand. He'll get the first down and more, get brought down past the 35, marked at the 36 for a gain of 11 yards.
Yeah, you see him get to the outside there, makes a good cut back in, is able to get a first down.
Landon Snyder has been such a huge part of this Caveman offense for now 2 seasons. He's already kicking off to a great year. We're already halfway through it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He's been playing phenomenal. And Caden O'Neal's going to get the ball once again, driving forward, just stepping over people, making a miss, and he's brought down right at the midfield stripe at the 50. A gain of 14 on that play. Caden O'Neal, I mean, not only is he tough to bring down, but he's tough to catch initially. I mean, he's shifty. He's able to move around. You think you got him, and then he just slides off you. Quite the fullback that the Cavemen have in their backfield. And this one's going to be Landon Snyder keeping it himself again. Getting to the outside. He's got room. Just lightly walks to the sideline. Out of bounds. Mark at the 34 for a big gain there. Looks like he got 11 on that one. I believe he got a little bit more than 11 on that carry. Marked to the 34 is where they'll have him. So a gain of 16.
11-16, what's the difference?
I'm too busy listening to Mr. Bresky, and I'm getting it wrong.
Ooh, big hit there.
And that is a big hit. He's going to dive forward on the fullback dive play. Gain of 2, and he's brought down at the 32.
Yeah, and that was a big hit. As he was able to get a couple yards, but just got stopped right in his tracks. And that hasn't happened much tonight with Caden O'Neal.
No, it's not. So the Cavemen responding to the Warsaw, and they've been doing that pretty well. Landon Snyder with a few big plays.
Flag.
And we see an obvious jump there. You got to be careful. That's easily a false start on the Mishawaka Cavemen that backs them up 5 yards. It's not what you want.
Well, and it's 5 yards. What's the big deal? Put you way behind. You had 2nd and 8. Not the best, not the worst, but now it's 2nd and 13.
So 2nd and extra long here, not what you want. And that's one where you can't say, well, we can rely on Caden O'Neal just getting 3 yards and we'll be fine. No, you got to come up with something here that you know will be explosive and get you 5+ yards. And they've got it. He's going to run forward, out of bounds. That's Landon Snyder getting to the outside, past the 30. Excuse me, they'll mark him all the way at the 26. Excuse me, the 27-yard line is where they'll mark him. So big run there. We said, okay, he's got to do something a little bit explosive, Kyle Shaw there with the play call. And they go ahead, give it to Landon Snyder, the outside, and he gets it done. 3rd and 3 for the Mishawaka Cavemen. They really want to convert here. And Landon Snyder's got it again. Trickery on the triple option. He's tripped up, gets the first down and more, marked at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and that's a good job just following Caden O'Neal. Caden O'Neal gets tackled, but opens up some space there, is able to get a first down as we have an injury timeout, maybe a helmet actually, as one of the Warsaw players goes off the field.
So the Cavemen reset the chains here, and they're in good position. They have now reached the red zone. 4:20 remaining before we reach the half. Cavemen have yet to be stopped. But then again, neither have the Warsaw Tigers. Caden O'Neal's going to get it, and he's going to run into a wall, step back, stumble, and then drive forward again for a gain. It's a gain of 2 only, but it looked like he worked for a little bit more than that. I mean, you run into defenders and then just say, okay, I'm going to take a step back and then run for 2 more yards.
We're under 4 minutes here. Again, we're working on some technical stuff. We've got some new things we're trying, new people doing new positions.
That's right.
Our current goal is to follow the ball.
Let's see if we can get that done. I'm very confident that we can.
Top camera immaculate as always.
And Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, get to the outside. He's got 1 man to beat, cuts back in, tries to keep his footing and lunge towards that 10-yard line. He's going to be marked short, and they're going to mark him at the 12. So big play there. Not quite a first down. Very close. 3rd and very short. Colin Hanley's going to jog off the field.
They're going to try to milk this clock. We're just under 3 minutes now.
Milking the clock is not a bad idea.
Yeah, they're not in any hurry.
Play clock is now under 5, and they're going to go ahead and snap this one. Hand it off up the middle, and Caden O'Neal, they're going to say he did get the first down.
It looks like it, but it depends on where they spot that. I think they're going to say fourth down.
Yeah. Thought I saw an official say, kind of insinuate that it would be a first down. No, they'll say 4th and very short.
Yeah, so 4th down. No,
never mind.
They are going to say
that official stuck to it. It will be a first down. They'll give it to him. Caden O'Neal was kind of standing there, staring at the officials. Am I okay now? Then he gets brought down, and they'll say it is enough for the first down. He's marked at the 10. And still conversations, no whistle yet. Allowing play to begin, and now we're okay. So that one is a Caden O'Neal. Rumbles forward and into the end zone as he dives his way for 6. Caden O'Neal puts the Cavemen back on top. He had guys hanging off him. Doesn't matter. He's still going to find that end zone by any means.
And there we got the ball. We followed the ball. Way to go. Way to go us. So touchdown Mishawaka.
Got 2:10 left on the clock in the second quarter. And that's a big play there for the Cavemen. They can get this extra point here. They go up by 7. Warsaw gets the ball back with just over 2. And they'll have a lot of work to be done. That one is good. Right through the uprights. And we've got some score updates. Isaiah Eggleston, what do you got for me?
We got Northridge and Wawasee 27.
Try that again. Northridge and Wawasee.
Northridge and Wawasee.
Yep.
Northridge is leading 20-7. Northwood is leading Plymouth 21-0. And St. Joseph versus Riley. St. Joseph is leading 14-0. Goshen is losing against Concord 21-0.
Yeah, so a lot of blowouts there. Thank you, Isaiah. We expected some of those games. Concord, Goshen. Goshen struggled a little bit this year. Northridge, Wawasee. Big one at Northwood over in Napanee, 21-0 Northwood. Not looking good for your pick of Plymouth there, Daniel.
No, it is not. I was trying to be like Pat McAfee. I guess there really is only one. But you know what? If you enjoy me saying that on Mishawaka game day, then you should just go ahead and rewatch it. We need those views.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on that, and we want you all to enjoy it. So go ahead and check that out. You know what? Actually, during halftime,
Absolutely.
I
15-minute halftime.
I challenge all of you after the dance team performs, of course, go ahead and check out Mishawaka game day. So now Blake Vandenberg going to kick it off to an eager Tiger offense here. They want to respond. They've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds before they have to walk into that locker room and listen to Coach Curtis talk about what they did wrong. See if they can do one more thing right and score, tie this thing up before we advance to the second half. Driving forward, and that's pole number 29. My apologies. Wyatt Harmon there, the returner. He's going to get brought down. They'll say just short maybe of the 25, or will it be directly on? Yes, it'll be directly on the 25-yard line. They'll mark him. So not a bad return there for the Tigers, and they're in a decent field position to try to get some points on the board. So we saw that big explosive play from Quentin Brock, the 71-yard touchdown that we cannot stop talking about because he found that space and shot through the gap as well as he did. Let's see how they respond here. Brock's got the ball, making guys miss, and he'll get stopped there by Camden Putz. Rejects Brock's juke attempt and says, no, you're not going anywhere. Wraps him up, brings him down, sticks with him despite being blocked. And you saw Drew Ginner helped him out a little bit too. Trips him up, and Camden Putz finishes the job. The 1-2 punch. Caveman defense. It's a gain of 3 on that one. And a toss outside. That's Harmon. He's got some room. He's going to get past the 40. Gets the first down and more. Brought out of bounds, excuse me. Just past the 40 at around the 43-yard line. Apologies for the blank there. I had to make sure I got Harmon's name right once again. But we did. We got it done. So with the clock stopped because Harmon got out of bounds and got the first down. Got 1:18 here on the scoreboard. Warsaw, not a lot of time, but a lot to do. And Brock's going to fake it, taking himself, run outside to the left, dives into Caveman territory, stopped just short of the Caveman 45 at the Caveman 46. Quentin Brock is a senior for the for the Tigers. He's a quarterback in the Warsaw team that defeated the Cavemen just a year ago. Wants to feel that same feeling here, and we've got to stop here. It's going to be a timeout called by Coach Keith Kinder and the Mishawaka Cavemen with exactly 1 minute on the clock. Score 21-14. The Tigers trying to get something going in Caveman territory. We're going to show you what happens in the remaining 1 minute of this first half when we come back on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium, where we bring to you the final minute of the first half, second quarter. Let's see how the Tigers respond to that huge play from Landon Snyder on the run, putting the Cayman up by 7. They want to knock this thing up, and that one is up the middle. That is Duncan, number 43, I believe, the ball carrier. And he's going to get not much. The clock still runs. They mark him now at the 43. Then they'll call a timeout, the Warsaw Tigers will. We'll keep it here for now with 45 seconds remaining. Look, the Tigers are really trying to work down the field, but the Cayman had the ball for a long time, and honestly adds to the Tigers. They got this offense where they're running the ball over and over and over again, and as we talked about, that's going to run clock. We talked to offensive lineman Lucas DeWilkins today, and he was like, you know what, we may be lucky if we get the ball 5 times throughout the entire ball game, and that may be true. It's not really even an exaggeration considering how often both these offenses run the ball.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night for those defensive linemen, right? Those different players for both defenses that have to make those tackles on those big runners.
That's right, and also a long day for these offensive linemen who had to stay out there and nail the right blocks and open the holes for people that need them. And it's gonna be, I know Luke's the Wilkins and company, they're gonna be very tired on the Mishawaka side. So coming out of the timeout, 45 seconds remaining. Let's see what they do here with 2nd and 6. The down and distance. It's going to be a handoff. No, a keeper by Brock. Almost grabbed that horse collar there. They're not going to call it. Quentin Brock is going to get the first down. Charge pass to 35. Mark down, they'll say, at the Cavemen 33. No, scratch that to 34. They're moving quickly. And they'll spike the football. Quentin Brock, nice play there. Stopping the clock is always what you want to do in this situation. It's Warsaw. There's 2 timeouts left to work with 33 seconds. Quinn Brock has been the star of the show for this offense on the Tigers side. They came in trying to find a way to make sure they can contain them. And you would think, well, they have a lot of practice doing this, literally in practice, week in and week out. But still different when you got different guys on the field running the same offense. Brock going to try to get to the outside and brought down pretty early on after a gain of about 3. Let's look at this replay here and see who was there on the tackle. And that was Camden Putz. Who other than KP to make a play on the defensive side? Clock is still rolling. And they'll call an official's timeout. Not sure. Didn't see anybody injured on the field.
I think somebody called a timeout.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're not marking that off of Warsaw's timeouts left, but I believe I'm going to go ahead and say it was a Warsaw timeout despite the official.
I think they're going to add more time to the clock maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense as well. That clock was rolling, and I think Coach Curtis did call a timeout before then. That would make sense after a run there. They have 14 now. Coach Kinder says, you know what, I'm not worried about the sideline at all. I'm getting inside the numbers. I want to find out what's going on.
I wonder right now, Daniel, is it second down or third down?
Should be third.
Let's go!
Okay, let's see if they get this worked out. Still no change on the clock.
Coach Kinder talking to the ref here, the head official.
3rd and 7 is the correct down distance.
Run the damn block!
Head official and Coach Keith Kinder still having a conversation at the bottom left of your screen. And both the offense and defense are on the field right now, and some fans obviously not very happy with how long this is taking.
We're going to add some time to the clock. They're going to put 24 seconds back on the clock, which, like I said, it makes sense. I think he got out of bounds.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
So I don't know why the clock kept running.
Yeah, Brock runs to the outside for 3 and goes out of bounds. Thought maybe.
Oh, it was third down because of the spike. Got it. I forgot about that.
I thought maybe Curtis says, okay, well, we're, lunching towards the red zone. Maybe we call a timeout, but official timeout does make sense. The clock kept rolling. All right.
Okay, 23 seconds on the clock, not 24, right. But we're ready to go here. 3rd and 7 for Warsaw.
Big play here for them if they want to go up and.
They're saying he didn't get out of bounds.
Tie this ball game. And that time he definitely getting out of bounds.
He gave up. He could have got maybe a couple more yards, but he gave that up to stop the clock. I think that's smart. But Warsaw still has some timeouts to work with.
Wyatt Harmon goes out of bounds there, just short of the first down marker. He's going to gain 6. It's only 4th and 1. Very, very manageable for these Tigers.
This is where it got away from them against Concord, these 4th downs. Now, they were 4th and longer, so this is 4th and short. But I think this is where you gotta get it.
Right.
You've got a chance here to just flip some momentum. You get the ball if you're Warsaw to start the second half. So right now it's a 1-score game. You're getting the ball back, start second half. See if you can try to maybe get a field goal or tie it up with a touchdown.
They've got 2 timeouts left, and they will use one of them right here. No, excuse me, the K-Men will.
So Mishawaka goes to 0 timeouts. Let's get a breather here. I was trying to get caught up with some stuff. We're working on some, as always, things don't always work the way you want it.
That's right.
So you're trying.
Yeah.
Sorry for stepping on your cord there, Daniel.
No worries.
Big play here, though, for Warsaw.
Yes, big play for sure. With 14 seconds remaining, 4th and 1. We talked about how they went for it in some odd times against Plymouth last week. They still won 42-14, but even so, going for it on 4th and 8 on your own 30, a
little harder, yeah.
Not something that you want. But 4th and 1 on the opponent's 26. Now that's more like it. That's something that you're willing to do as a head coach, and you you're calm and you're confident that you won't hear things or get emails. Why did you go for it 4th and 8 on your own 30? So let's see, though, what play call they draw up here.
Yeah, I think they're going to give that quarterback options. I think we talked to, obviously Coach Curtis talked about the quarterback runs the show. So if you give him options here, right, that's part of the option offense, right, then you've got a chance to try to get an easy 2 yards.
Let's see. We'll find out here shortly. Tiger offense lined up, and they will keep it with Brock. He'll charge forward for the first down and a few more.
Yeah, I think they're going to call a timeout.
I think they have to, no? Looks like there's a timeout called. No, they'll say keep the clock rolling. Wow.
Yeah, they let that clock run down to 6.
I'm very surprised.
They have 2 timeouts on the board.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm very surprised there.
I don't know why you wouldn't take one there.
Why don't you spend those? But, well, you know what, Coach Curtis, he's won a lot of football games. He knows what he's doing, I guess.
Yeah,
so
but 6 seconds, you almost can't call 2 timeouts in 6 seconds.
No, you cannot. Unless you get a very, very quick pass out of bounds. Yeah, even then it's slim. Matt Wiley's going to run off the field here, and we'll get a timeout called.
So Warsaw takes a timeout, so they're down to 1.
But it's still confused.
Yeah,
timeout after the spike is a little odd, but all right.
Yeah, and it looks like they're bringing in their field goal unit. I think they're going to try to kick a field goal, which if you got a kicker that can make this, right now they're at the 22. That puts you at a 39-yard field goal. Yeah? Is that math right? Look at this.
So, yep.
You're so smart. If you can make it, yeah, right? If you feel confident in your kicker, let's go kick this field goal. Let's get it. But it's a very strange end of the quarter here.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Huh. We'll see. Okay, 21-14 you got. And, you're down by 7, and you want to tie it, I would think. But also, let's not forget, Mr. Reynolds, they have a freshman kicker.
Yeah.
Starting.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I want to put him in that position.
Yeah, it's a big game on the road.
So with the field goal, it's the 10 yards with the end zone.
Yep. 7 yards for the
plus
snap.
The 7
yeah.
with the snap. So that
so put you at 39.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they are going to come out to run an offensive play, though. I wonder if they're going to try to get it a few more yards, call a timeout, and then maybe kick.
Very unconventional.
Yeah, he's going to get to the center and just go down, and they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to try to kick this field goal, I think.
So I think he's going to get no gain.
Timeout called. They want him at the center here.
And they're going to kick a field goal here. So no more timeouts. They're going to, I assume they're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah, right. The fact that he went to the center.
Yeah.
So we can calmly say that freshman kicker, they want him to be as straightforward, literally, as possible. Marking at the center, they got 3 seconds to spend. Field goal still an interesting play, in my opinion, but that's what they're going with. I honestly kind of understand it to a certain extent.
Right.
You get the ball back, then you can go up by 2 possessions. Field goal is a little bit more reliable. And
yeah, Daniel, I'm going to let you take this into halftime. We're going to get ready for band. We're going to get ready for some John Young and Mishawaka dance teams.
Yep.
So I'm going to get ready for that. You're going to take us to halftime after this field goal.
All right. So we'll hear from Mr. Matt Randall here shortly. He's got some other duties to take care of. And then after the result of this field goal, we'll have a 15-minute halftime, like you said, band, and then the Mishawaka and John Young dance team. So the freshman varsity kicker here, trying to get this done. This is Connolly for a 39-yarder. And Coach Kinder and head official having some conversation. Awaiting this whistle so we can get this started. Officials still up front. Near their respective special team units. And we're still spending some more time than we probably like. And there's some clock trouble They're saying maybe 6 seconds now on the clock. Yep, that's what they'll put on there. So 6 seconds now here on the clock, which is a little confusing. As they spent that 3 seconds, Quentin Brock did get into the center. Not really sure why, and a lot of fans here are not very happy with that. Confused on really what's going on. Why was there time spent doing this? Why are we going back to 6 seconds? And now there's still official talk. Conley's ready. The Mishawaka special teams unit is ready. And yet we're still having conversation here. Head official, once again, over near the Mishawaka sideline, talking to Coach Kinder, and we're really trying to figure out why there's any stalling happening. The Warsaw kicker is ready. Their field goal unit's ready, and special teams unit on the other side with the Cayman, they're ready. Not really sure what the stall is or why the head official is still speaking with Coach Kinder. But you know what? Let's talk about what we'll have, again, coming up in the half. We'll have the band. We will have the John Young and Mishawaka dance team.
3 seconds.
And we'll also now have 3 seconds back on the clock as I'm saying that. We're getting it changed again. We go from 3 to 6 to 3. I'm not really sure why there was any. All right, you know, all along, we were right originally. Now we're back to it. We're going to see a field goal, a big field goal here, and this will take us into halftime. The kick is up, and it's blocked. Wow, the Cavemen get it done there. Huge play to go in to the locker room. Let's catch this replay here and just storm it forward. Camden Putz gets in his face and blocks that field goal, rejects that special teams unit, and gets hype as he should. The Cavemen go into the locker room feeling juiced up, I'm sure. Camden Putz making plays on all 3 phases. The Cavemen walk into halftime up 21-14 as they were a majority of that second quarter. We will see you in the second half, myself and Mr. Matt Randall. But before then, we'll see the band, the John Young and Mishawaka dance team, and more. So make sure to stay tuned. If you want to take a little bit of a break from this broadcast, go ahead and watch Mishawaka Game Day. Myself, Lucas DeWilkins, Will Mason, and Evan Lynn brought that to you. That's all I got for you. We'll be back. 15 minutes is the break that you get from us, and you'll be hearing our voice again here shortly. Going to halftime, be back for the second half on the Mishawaka Network.
Be sure to pick up a fall sports program at any of your entrances. The sponsors of the program and other video board help fund our Mishawaka teams, coaches, and student athletes. And remember to stop by the athletics table in Alumni Plaza to purchase your game day gear. You can also buy online at capesports.com. Attention fans, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to Terry and Kenny from Mishawaka High School attending tonight's game, along with the Cavemen and the community club members, including Elena, Isabella, Emily, Maya, Julia, and Nadine. Please give them a round of applause and a warm welcome. And go Cavemen! This Friday night's game featured the Cavemen and Community Club at Mishawaka High School, welcoming 2 MHS students as special guests, Terry and Kenny. Terry and Kenny, being guests of honor, will provide Mishawaka t-shirts, will recognize during an in-game announcement, and will welcome onto the field for the pregame team toss. Cavemen in the Community is a community service-oriented club dedicated to supporting and building community within the school corporation and the surrounding area. And this event and opportunity was an amazing experience for all. Thank you to the Cavemen and the Community students and MHS Athletics for your support. A list of attendees include Isabella Bennett, Terry Elkins and mother, Sapphire Elkins, Elena Hine, Maya Hyler, Julia Peel, Emily Osorio, Nadine Rose, Kelly Smith, Keisha Smith,
and Kaylee Raymond. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Tonight, Mishawaka High School would like to salute our girls softball program. This past spring, the Lady Cajun secured their third consecutive outright Northern Lakes Conference Championship with a record of 12 wins and 2 losses. This year's title is the 12th ever conference title in program history. This is the second conference sweep in school history, having done so with 3 straight NIC crowns in 1990, 91, and 92. This current 3-year streak has been MHS softball accumulating an amazing conference record of 40 wins and just 2 losses, including undefeated NLC records of 14-0 in 2023 and 2024. At this time, we'd like to congratulate Coach Brian Miller and the Mishawaka Lady Cajun softball program. Currently, the program and the teams along with graduates from 2023 and 2024. And welcome to Leah Dawson, Jaden Haley, Neil Mason, and Kayla Vance. Seniors. This coming year, seniors Holly Shine, Carmen Frazier, Lauren Hershey, Alexa Davis, Leah Pearson, and Grace Matherly. Juniors, Catherine Steinman, Linnea West, sophomores, Millie Bolton, Shay Crawford, Aaron Camacho, and Robert Nicholson. And the assistant coaches, Matt Wynn, Ralph Kova, Jill Holtz, Katie Booker, and head coach Brian Miller. Congratulations, ladies, and a job well done. John Young Middle School 8th grade football program. We'd like to take a moment and recognize the John Young Middle School 8th grade football team. The boys are 5-1 in the season with their only loss coming against Big 11 Conference foes, Northbridge Middle School in overtime. The boys will be looking to avenge their loss to the Raiders as they take on the undefeated Northbridge team in a championship game here at Steel Field next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. The boys are coached by long-time John Young Middle School coaches, Darren Hess, Chris Shavani, and head coach J.J. Sofron. Good luck, Let's keep it up for this real quick.
He said he's never kicked the ball in his life. So.
Mishawaka dance team.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit. Put your back into it. You think like it ain't nothing to it. Forte Water Group is celebrating over 60 years of satisfying customers. Experience. Innovation. Honesty. Integrity. Determined. Committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte. Fix it for good.
I'm excited to be part of the Caveman Athletics. Our office offers a virtual innovation for both children and adults. Athletic consultation. We take our business seriously, but ultimately, put speech in your For more information, visit our website, www.blackfamilyfamily.com.
Hi, I'm Nate Zolman. In 1963,
Welcome back to Mishawaka High School. I'm Matt Rendell. Daniel Phillips going to join us back here in a second. Isaiah Eggleston here. We got a lot of halftime scores. Really not a lot of close games going on other than this one here. Isaiah, what do we got for scores?
We got Concord and Goshen at Concord leading Goshen 28-0. Northridge and Wawasee at halftime. Northridge leading 28-7. Northwood and Plymouth at halftime. Northwood leading Plymouth 21-7. Penn and Elkhart at halftime. Penn leading 17-6. St. Joseph leading Riley at halftime 14-0. And
yeah, we got a last update there. Adams playing Washington. That game's already in the fourth quarter. I think they might have started a little bit earlier. So thanks, Isaiah, for that. Daniel, any surprising scores here?
Well, of course, I'm going to say the Plymouth Northwood one is a little upsetting.
Plymouth scored late. They got it within 2 scores. I'm looking at St. Joe Riley. St. Joe's had a really good year there in Mishawaka sectional.
Right.
14-0 there. So
that's surprising.
That one's a close one there. And then Penn up 17-6 at half over Elkhart. Elkhart's had a weird year.
Yeah.
They've had some games they played really well. The return of one of their better players who transferred to Elkhart.
Right.
He was playing this week. So some interesting games there for sure.
Yeah, definitely a little surprised, like you said, with that St. Joe one. Riley has been a program that's been, going in the right direction, but still not at the level they'd like to be at. Whereas St. Joe, as you said, has been undefeated, and they've been playing very well in Mishawaka sectional. And it's just a little surprising that they're only up 14 at the half. But you know what? Halftime is still going on there. Halftime is over here. We are getting ready to kick this one off and away. Blake Vandenberg give the ball back to the Warsaw Tigers.
Yeah, both halftime. Just some quick, not a ton of really interesting stats. We know what happened. 0 passes were thrown outside of those spikes.
Yep.
Lots of runs, good runs by both teams. 2 Mishawaka Cavemen, Caden O'Neill, Landon Snyder, both over 100 yards rushing in the first half.
And not too much of a surprise there. We were kind of expecting them to perform the way that they have. This one is kicked kind of a line drive. Field at the 10-yard line. Trying to get shifty. Find some moves in his bag, and he's going to get past the 30-yard line. Get some help up from Will Mason, and I guess I should probably tell you who returned that one. That was number 5, Tucker Reed, the junior, wearing the Tiger uniform. So, look, we talked about how well Quentin Brock played in the first half. There were some things that we really, really liked, a few things that we didn't like as much, but nothing really downright bad in any fashion. But here's the bottom line. The Warsaw Tigers are down in this ball game. They didn't get it done really on that last drive. And boy, was that an interesting drive for them and that officiating crew, as there was a lot of confusion. And that one, he's going to get backed up. They say the ball is out, but they're going to blow the whistle before the ball even touches the turf. I mean, Ken Clemente shot back in the backfield like a bolt of lightning. And Camden Punts is the one that pounced on it.
Sorry, Daniel. Thanks for tuning in here tonight, everybody. We're working through some stuff. We got a whole new crew doing all sorts of things. We're still bringing you the game, though. So thanks for tuning in. We're getting there. We're getting better here in the second half.
And that one's going to be pitched outside, and he's going to be brought back maybe to the line of scrimmage, if not for a loss of about one. Once again, that was number 5. Again, Tucker Reed. Camden Putts all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, they might have given him 1 yard maybe. But really nothing there. And this was the Caveman defense we talked about, flying to the ball, tackling, and now you've got the really first 3rd and long like this that the Warsaw Tigers have had all game.
Let's see if they can convert here. 13 yards to cover. They're going to hand this one off, and that's Shank there, stumbling forward just past the 35, and he's going to be marked at the 36-yard line.
There's a lineman down in the backfield. That's going to bring you up 4th down. Looks like maybe 5.
See if we can figure out who that is. Looks like number 56, Christian Gullers. Trainer Hannah Hess and the training crew from Warsaw out there checking on him. It's never what you want to see. Injuries do happen, though.
Logan, look at me. You have to listen. Thank you.
But you know what? We're doing a better job.
We're getting there.
Let's see. Okay, he's getting up on his feet.
There we go.
That's what we like to see. That is Gullers there, the lineman.
Got some on-the-job training here. I'm trying to get a lot of things done.
You know what? You're doing a great job.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting hot in here, too, man.
It is.
Warm day, warm evening. Good night for football, though.
It is. It is a good night. For these players, a good night to burn off some calories because, man, like you said, it is hot outside.
So it looks like the offense on the field, the quarterback is coming in late here. Almost a timeout there with the injury. So see what they do. And this is where we talked about that Concord game. They got down early. They were chasing. You got 3rd and longs, 4th and longs, and now you got 4th and 5 at your own 36, and you're going for it.
And this is a little bit more of a 4th and manageable than a 4th and long. So they've got some room to work with. LOD chants reign throughout Steel Stadium, and we've got in the Warsaw timeout here. You have the entry timeout now, another one forced for Warsaw. They're going to take their first of the half. Score still stays at 21-14. The Tigers have the ball with 10 minutes. Let's see what they do on this 4th down when we come back on the Mishawaka Network.
Come and visit the Mishawaka Historical Museum and make sure to check out all of their different exhibits, such as their industries and businesses, church and faith, historic landmarks, military heritage, school, and their famous Mishawakans exhibit, including some of our very own Caveman alumni, as well as a working model train set and a brand new exhibit, Treasures from our collection. Located at 121 South Main Street, doors are open every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. $5 for entry for adults, $3 for students, and kids under 5 enter for free.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we're back here in Steel Stadium. This 4th down try awaits. Under center. Brock's going to step back to pass. First pass attempt of the ball game. He's got a man. He's got space, and it is called. He's making his way to the end zone. nothing but green grass, 20 yards of space in between him and Drew Ginner. But there's a flag
in the backfield
at the line of scrimmage. So this huge play here, make it brought all the way back.
And that is holding on Warsaw.
So Logan Carl's huge reception.
That's huge. I mean, that was, you're talking about honestly, like, I know this is the triple option offense. That's one of the best passes you'll ever see. I mean, that's on the money in stride for a touchdown. And that's a huge, huge penalty because now that's going to put you at 4th and long.
That's absolutely horrible. I mean, so detrimental to not only your drive, but your team morale. That's not what you want. Logan Carl, I mean, he had some space, and Quentin Brock just put it right where you want it. Like you said, right on the money. And then he just turned on the Jets. Drew Ginner couldn't catch him. And the holding penalty brings it all back.
Yeah, that's tough.
So 4th and 15, they have no choice really but to punt. They're all the way back at the 27-yard line. As Schenk runs all the way in on the sideline. The punt is
really
not
short.
Great. And it's going to ease up at the Warsaw 41-yard line. That ball didn't even go 20 yards. 14-yard punt is what we just saw. So the K-Men will take over. Great field position at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 with 9:44 remaining. An opportunity to go up 2 scores. Let's see if they attack here and take advantage. This would be so monumental if they can get this one to go and go up 2 scores. So let's see. Landon Snyder under center. Hands it off to Caden O'Neal up the middle. Charging forward with contact right as he got the ball. And they're going to mark him with forward progress. I'll say at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good run. I mean, you get essentially a turnover. I know it was a punt, but that punt didn't go very far. You get good field position, 4 yards, first play, run the clock, keep it moving.
Let's see if they can repeat that there. Like you said, I mean, 4-yard gain, that ain't bad. You keep that going. They'll try it again, and he'll charge forward past the 35, brought down at the 32. That's a 5-yard gain and a first down. No, they won't call it a first down.
Yeah, they're going to say 3rd and short.
I thought maybe they marked him at the 31 instead and got the first, but no, they'll say he's still 1 yard short. 8:40 on the clock. And that's going to be handed off to Caden O'Neal, who's spinning forward despite contact. And he's going to be brought down at the 23-yard line. That one will be a first down. Knocking on the door of that red zone, and you already know what time it is. That means the K-Men are going to pull out something in this playbook, try to make something happen. Corin Shepley and Colton Hanley trying onto the field. Shepley realizes he's not supposed to be on the field, trots back off. Let's see what the play call is here. As the clock winds down. We're now at 8 seconds here, remaining in the third. And Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, try to cut back inside, and he's tripped up there by a Warsaw defender by the name of Robbie Strahan on the tackle. Camden Putz going to sub out. Let's see what they do here. You know, 2nd and 7. It's a little bit longer than manageable here. Hands it off to Caden O'Neal. He's got space, trucks a man, and dives forward, lunging for the first down marker. They'll say he is short by 1. Mark him at the 14-yard line. They'll actually say 3rd and inches, as that's at the half-yard line. And you're seeing, folks, how much these offenses make that clock trickle down. We're already at 7 minutes. And that one's up the middle. Caden O'Neill charging forward. The contact means nothing. He's going to make his way into the end zone and extend their lead to 2 possessions here. 27-14 is your score. The K-Men over the Tigers. They're going to try to boot this extra point through the uprights and go up 14. And you saw there Caden O'Neill. Like I said, contact means next to nothing. I mean, he's got guys on him, and he's saying, all right, you can come on with me to the end zone, and he still charges forward.
Well, I mean, he carried 3 or 4 with him, right? I mean, when you are getting hit on defense by a fullback, that's when you, like, the defense is supposed to be giving those hits, and then so far tonight, Caden O'Neill has been given those hits.
That's right. And you can add that one to the K-Men total, as that extra point is good. They go up 14, score 28-14 in favor of the K-Men, 6:57 remaining. We're going to keep it here a lot that we just saw. We see the Tigers, they have a not great drive there. They had a huge play. The Logan Carl gets brought all the way back on a holding penalty. Now it's 4th and 15. They have to punt. The punt was 14 yards. And then you go ahead, you give it back to the K-Men, they charge forward and score again, go up 2 possessions. That's a big thing here.
Yeah, it's a big night here. So far, it's been Caden O'Neill, Landon Snyder with all the big plays. As we have this quick break here, we want to get a couple shout-outs. We're showing our shirts again, Daniel. We got our Friday night 5G lights. We're trying to win that $1 million. Right now, if you go on the website, you'll see we're way behind. But when, in the world of Mishawaka, have we given up?
That's right.
See, there we go.
That's right.
So make sure you go online, vote. You can just search Friday Night 5G Lights. It's sponsored by T-Mobile. So far, we've won $25,000, but we're trying to win that $1 million. Again, right now we're way behind. That doesn't mean that it's over. Tell your friends, tell your family. All you need to do is put an email, and they don't even send you emails. I've got no emails.
Me either.
Right? So, and we're voting every day. So make sure to vote for that as we get ready for this kickoff.
And look at that. We're on a video board. How cool is that?
I'm telling you. And we're back. We're
wow,
back.
Awesome.
We're ready for kickoff here, so we're going to go to camera number 1.
Get your costumes ready for the Mishawaka Trunk or Treat.
Close.
It's a safe, fun, and spooky good time for all elementary students.
1.
Join us Saturday, October 4th, held in the staff parking lot at Mishawaka
We're getting there.
High School.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll get there.
Quick shout out to MEF.
Kira doing a
Trunk
great
or
job.
Treat.
She's stressed, but she's doing great. She's got it.
The Mishawaka Education
And we
Foundation
got
is
the
looking for
kickoff,
candy donations
and it
to
looks
help make
like
this event a
it's
success.
going to be wrapped up, but we've
Your
got
helmet today.
so many
We'll see you.
flags flying in the air as we got you back here in Still Stadium.
Yeah, pretty much every ref threw a flag on that play.
That's right. So Tucker there on the return. He's brought down to 20, but again, like you said, you got flags flying everywhere.
I think they might have said that they signaled a fair catch.
Oh, maybe.
I
didn't see any signal, but maybe.
I saw some of the coaches for the Cavemen putting their arms out, right? That kind of universal sign for like no run back. Lots going on here, Daniel. We're getting better. We switched some people around. We're working on some of our things, and Alex DeMega looks like he's limping out there.
Yeah, you don't want that.
They
Okay.
signal holding. These calls are. We had this at Marion.
Yep.
We've had that for a couple games where it's just taking forever. It's not that the calls are bad. It seems like people are agreeing with some of these calls, but they're talking to both benches. They're doing all. I mean, if it's holding, they're going to take it and move it back 10 yards, right?
That's right. And you said, I wasn't here. I was over in Middlebury for the Northridge Mishawaka game, but you said that Concord and Northwood played here, and it was the same exact story with that officiating crew.
Scott Bovenkirk is saying that the call is not right. And if there's anybody you should believe in football, it's Scott Bovenkirk. He's coached some of the great teams. He was at Jimtown. He's been a coach all over Hobart.
Well, here's the thing. I'm agreeing with Scott here because you signal holding, but you're going back 2 yards.
Right. That's a good point. And the flag was out further, so maybe they're saying the holding was out at the 28. Either way, Warsaw.
Yeah, either way. And that's going to be kept by the quarterback. He's going to spin forward past the 20, marked at the 23-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 4 on that one. Quinn Brock, he's not having a poor day. I mean, we talked about that. As we see the other quarterback wearing number 10 trotting on the field. Landon Snyder playing some defense back there at safety. Got 2 wideouts to his right, and he's going to hand that one off up the middle.
And right now, if you're the Cavemen, 4 yards at a time, 5 yards at a time is not going to win the game.
Yep.
So you're going to be okay. Yeah, maybe they get some first downs. Yes, you want to get a stop, but, hey, you didn't give up the big play. You can't give up another 71-yard touchdown run.
Completely agree. And, you know, something I'm really surprised about is Brody Duncan not getting all the snaps. Now, I know you want to.
They've been switching in, yeah.
I know you want to filter in, but you don't see Ethan Flowers in the ball game a lot for a reason. Caden O'Neal gets all those snaps, all those reps. Well, we see him here again. Duncan lowers his helmet, and he's going to get stopped at the 38-yard line for a nice little run. Makes it 2nd and 1 here. Very manageable for these Tigers. And if they're going to score, I would encourage them to score quickly because that's exactly what the Cavemen are going to do. We saw that on the last drive. We've seen that on every drive that they've had. All 4 drives, they have scored a touchdown. All of them have resulted in a trip to the end zone. Cannot say the same for the Warsaw Tigers. They got to change that now. He rolls out to his right. Another pass. Let's see. This one, again, to the same receiver. That was Logan Carl, but that one.
And he's just a little long there. That's a good pass. I don't know what Drew Ginter was creeping up, and so he got kind of – there was still a defender there, but he kind of creeped up. And if that ball's put in just a little bit shorter, I think they've got that completion. Quick update, Knox is playing. We talked about Knox as one of the best players in the state of Indiana, Miles McLaughlin. He has 4 touchdowns rushing today, 4 2-point conversions rushing. Also an interception in the game. They lead Jimtown 32-13.
That's a stat line right there.
It is.
And that was Quentin Brock again. He's going to charge forward up the middle for the first down, move the chains, and they'll mark him at the 41. I'm wondering why the clock is not – I'm not sure what I'm talking about. It's high school football. When they're moving the chains, the clock stops until the official says run the clock again. But even so, there we go. Okay, we got it rolling now. There we go. Had so many issues with the clock today that I'm forgetting rules.
Well, we're already under 5 minutes, and this is what I'm saying. And I think some confusion on defense. Landon Snyder currently in the game on defense. And so Coach Kinder said, hey, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to see what's going on here.
Okay. I think that's a good call by Coach Kinder. They've got timeouts to spend. We better use those up. 4:51 remaining here. Score 28-14. Let's see what the Tigers do here coming up on first down on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since
Welcome
1903.
Back here to Still Stadium as we see Duncan running up the middle there on 1st and 10. He's going to get a yard or two. Scratch that, they'll give him 3. 2nd and 7 now. Ball's going to be marked at the 34-yard line. The clock keeps ticking down, under 4:30 remaining. And
again, if you're the Caveman, I think you're okay with that, right? Like you're letting that clock run.
Yeah, I'm a feeling great about
Yeah.
that right now. Especially if you can get a stop. That's what they want. Brock going to hand it off. Again, it's number 43, Duncan. Not quite there to the midfield stripe, but they're going to mark him at the 49. He's 1 yard shy. That gives him a 3rd and 2. Duncan's been trying to make an impact today, but he hasn't really gotten too much of the opportunity to, as he hasn't really gotten that many reps.
Why do these look different?
Schenka's gotten more reps here today, for sure. And, you know, Brody Duncan is somebody we've seen in film, and he plays some good football. I'm a little surprised that they didn't start him. And
Yeah. Well, and they're going to have to take some shots, and that might be on some runs. I mean, 3 yards is great, but you're going to run the clock here.
They'll get the first down, though. They're in enemy territory. They'll mark them at the K-Men 47. You know, we're seeing the K-Men defense play well, but we're also seeing this Tiger offense not really flow the way we kind of seen them flow in film. I mean, I was expecting a little bit more of a polished offense.
Well, I mean, it took them, 5-6 minutes to get past midfield.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, fullback dive up the middle again. That's Duncan. And again, I'm thinking right now, okay, maybe we have a little bit more urgency than we're seeing from them, but no, that's not the case. We're now reaching 2:45 now. Yeah, I'm a little surprised here. They're taking their time in the huddle and everything. 2nd and 8, though, and nothing wrong with staying poised, but
turnovers happen. I mean, you can onside kick. You got a lot of things can happen, but
even
you
so,
know Mishawaka is going to try to run that clock.
That's right. Brock going to keep it himself, try to get it outside, left sideline, and nothing given.
Yeah, really nothing there.
I think he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe they gave him one.
1 or 2, yeah. I mean, but you got, looks like Walker Hahn, Cam Putz just stringing that play out. They were both being blocked, but they made sure to string him out to the outside where they could kind of get him to the sideline.
Smart football there, and they're going to say he got one. No, the scoreboard was wrong. He got stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I think he got more. Like, just watching that replay, it looked like he got, he didn't get a lot more than that, but it looked like he kind of leaned forward there, but they're going to say no gain.
Quinn Brock, 3rd and 8. And
that ball came out of his hand. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble. Live ball. He jumps on it, but not before making his way all the way back to the Warsaw 45, and that's heartbreaking there. It's a big loss there.
Well, and that's just, he's going back to throw that, and it just falls out. That's a trick you run, back in the backyard. If you're a dad with your kids, you're like, oh, where'd the ball go? Just throw it backwards.
Yeah.
You wonder where that went, and now they're gonna have to punt.
They have to.
I mean, I guess they don't have to. Against Concord, they didn't.
That's true, but that was 4th and 8. This is now 2 times that. I don't know that you go for it here. Yeah, they've got to. I think they should punt this.
They're lined up to punt. That one much
almost,
better.
That one almost blocked by Ken Clemente. It's going to get off, though.
And Landon Snyder thought about going to get that, but the further it goes, that's more you have to kind of chew clock. So
the K-Men will set up shop at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10 for them with 1:27 left on the bone of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the 3rd quarter. A lot of games going on, Daniel. A lot of score updates we want to give you. Really a lot of blowouts happening, not a lot of close game. We're going to take it over to Isaiah here. We're starting with Concord and Goshen, where they've got a running clock going.
Concord and Goshen. Concord leading 35-0. Northridge at Wawasee. At halftime, Northridge is leading 28-7. At halftime, Northwood and Plymouth. Northwood leading 28-7. Penn leading Elkhart at halftime, 24-6. St. Joseph is leading at halftime over Riley, 14-0. And Adams and Washington, that's the first game that's actually been final. 28-7 Adams.
Yeah, so that game's already over, 28-7 in favor of the Adams Eagles over Washington.
Thank you, Isaiah. We saw a 7-yard gain there off the Caden O'Neill run to start the series off for the Cavemen. Now got the ball at the 19. That's not the 19-yard line. That is actually the 21.
You're pretty close.
And there they're going to give him the first down. Mr. Reynolds, I just learned the same lesson over and over again just now again. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just
Yeah, you got to pay attention.
I just got to look at the field. Don't worry about the scoreboard.
You got it.
We're good. First down, Caveman. 30 seconds remaining now under that in this third quarter. We'll go to a break here shortly. Maybe come back, hear more about some games around the area from Isaiah. We'll see. Clock still rolling and conversations between officials, as we've seen a few times today. Clock still rolling. I think the Caveman will just let this one die out. Won't even attempt to run a play, and that's going to do it. That's the quarter.
And then put her on. Daniel, we're going to stay here. End of the third quarter. We got a quick update. We're going to show Mr. Brew here. He's ready to go. Look at him. He's saying, go Caveman. He's got his Friday Night 5G Lights shirt on. We got to make sure we're getting those things on. We're going to put the QR code up here for the Friday Night 5G Lights here so we can get people to sign up for that. There we go. We got it. Perfect. And there you can see it on your screen. Make sure to scan that code. Go ahead and vote. You can vote as many times as you want. Use all your email addresses. Use your mom's email address. Use your dog's email address. Anybody's email address. Let's make sure to put that in there. I'm going to use Isaiah's email address and just put it in there and vote for him. Use every email address you know. I don't know if Mr. Bresky has email or not, but maybe I'll use his too.
There you go. That's a good
See,
one.
I'm telling you.
You know what? If you want to make an email address that says I love Mishawaka at gmail.com,
You know what?
Get that done.
That might already be taken. I might have done that already. But
I
love
12 times
Mishawaka
this morning,
too,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, right.
any email address you have, scan that QR code. You can definitely vote for the Friday Night 5G Lights sweepstakes. Right now, Cavemen won a $5,000, then they've won $25,000, and all of this is going to help upgrade the facilities here at Steel Stadium, locker rooms, concessions, things that are going to help football and track and cheer and all the teams that are out here. Big one is storage. We have no storage here in Steel Stadium to store mats and tackling dummies and anything that you need to store out here. So all of those things can help as we get ready for the fourth quarter.
Cavemen will flip sides of the field here. They will remain at the 26. So let's see how they do it here. The final chapter of the book, Warsaw, Mishawaka, and they'll hand it off to Caden O'Neill again. Still not down. They're going to have to blow this whistle soon. He'll get marked at the 30-yard line for a gain of 4.
Yeah, really good run, hard run. He's got to be careful, though. They're standing him up, and that's when those fumbles come into play, right? If you get stood up, somebody's trying to rake that ball out. They're hitting that ball, all of those different things. So good, hard running, which is great. Just got to be careful.
That's right. And that was something that they talked about with him following that Northwood game where he had 2 fumbles. Coach Kinder said to us, look, we just said it to him plainly. You got to make sure that your pad level is a certain way when you're running the ball as a fullback. Clock's still rolling, and like you said, they're going to chew this clock as much as they can. Run the ball again. Caden O'Neill getting shifty, finding room. He's marked down at the 40-yard line. It's Caveman first down and a gain of 10 yards for them.
Yeah, and that's just a good shift right here. Just a quick shift back inside. Kind of Warsaw had him right in their sights. They just couldn't make that tackle. Right there in his way was number 35, Ty Martin, who just had him, but Caden O'Neill just shifty there, right? He's strong, we know that, but he is shifty enough to make that one cut, get up the field, easy first down.
Ball now at the 40 as we duck under 11 minutes remaining in this football game. The Cavemen in good shape. And Dominic Brown is no longer in the football game, as we just noticed. Caden O'Neill spinning free, and they say a ball was out, but they blow the whistle. Let's see. They're saying he's down as of right now. Warsaw, I think they have it.
We're going to see this replay here. Yeah, I think he's definitely down there. Some of those are controversial. That one's pretty clear, as that'll bring up a 2nd and 5.
Yes, ball at the 46. It's going to stay with the Cavemen. Let's see here. We saw, again, Dominic Brown not in the football game. Again, not something that you're used to. Camden Putz checking out, and Cone Hanley's going to come into the game.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to try to take a shot at some point. Yeah, you're trying to run clock, but you might try to catch them off guard, too.
Let's see. 2nd and 4, a good place to do it. They'll run it up the middle. Caden O'Neill, and he's stuffed for no gain.
I mean, they might give him one, but that's going to bring up a big 3rd down, especially if you're the Warsaw defense. If you're a Warsaw fan, you need to stop, and right now is where you get it. But 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, not super hard for this offense as long as you don't lose yards as Putz comes back in the game. And like it looks like some little injuries. You know, Verlin goes to the side there. We talked about Don Brown out of the game right now. And that's where you end up with somebody like Cam Putz in the game on offense. He loves the game of football.
He does. He loves all sports.
That's true.
Landon Snyder's going to keep it himself, and he's got room.
Gone.
Partying like the Red Sea. Roll out the maroon carpet for Landon Snyder. He's going to score another touchdown for the Mishawaka Cavemen with 9 minutes on the clock.
And once he hit that, there was nobody left. Safety's creeping up, trying to stop those runs. Landon Snyder takes the outside, outruns the defense, gets in the end zone. Almost got caught there at the end, but he was able to score as the Cavemen build a cushion on their lead. Only 9 minutes left to play.
That was pretty cool, man. Landon Snyder showing the Warsaw defense's pink towel and just going ahead, driving into the end zone.
Absolutely.
I'm
pink
loving
towel for T-Mobile, of course.
Of course. and breast cancer awareness.
Of course.
It's October.
Yeah, you know what? Good point, Daniel.
So, love the pink towel. We got a lot of pink going on. Pink sleeves. And that extra point is good. 35-14 is the score here in Steel Stadium. The Cavemen over the Warsaw Tigers. 9 minutes, 1 second remaining in this ball game. We'll be back with Warsaw receiving on the Mishawaka Network.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte. Fix it for good.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Steel Stadium. Once again, you're just not joining us. You missed quite a bit. I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Matt Rendell here. The Cavemen are borderline dominating the Warsaw Tigers right now. They're ahead by 3 scores. Warsaw only 14 points scored so far. They're really playing some good football, the Cavemen are. Caden O'Neill leading the charge, and then obviously you see that big run, a few big runs from Landon Snyder so far. That one probably the most impactful. I mean, just the offensive line, got to give them a lot of credit there too. They open up that huge gap, and then he just runs through it, almost gets chased down, but he gets there.
He scored, yeah. Well, and that's without some of, you're missing some linemen there. We saw him on the sideline. So good offense here by the Cavemen as the kickoff fielded at the 5.
Yes, sir. That is going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. Can't remember this ball carrier's name hardly ever.
I'm trying to see who it was.
It's number 5, and he's usually their primary returner.
Oh, yeah, number 5. You're right.
Trying to just figure.
We just added here.
I'm not sure why.
Too many things going on.
Oh, Tucker Reed. There we go. I need to remember that name.
We got it. Yeah, really good return by Reed as he's able to get out past the 35, and that's a 32-yard return.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
They need all the yards they can get. Down by 21, 8:53 left in the fourth quarter.
And he's still on his feet there. That's Duncan charging towards the 50. It's going to be a first down and more. They'll mark him right at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, that was actually Brock who kept it. Took it up the middle there. Was able to break through a couple tackles, get a first down.
I see a ball carrier running up the middle for
Right.
Warsaw. I'm thinking that's Duncan, but no.
Well, and they threw in a bunch of shank there in the first half, too.
That's right. Ball snapped, hands it off, up the middle, and that one, nothing given there. Just stuffed right away.
They do give him 2, make it 2nd and 8.
That's Camden Barrett. My apologies there. We got another ball carrier running the ball for Warsaw here today.
That's actually Dylan Fitzpatrick, 37 there.
Running up the middle, got some room, moving the chains again. And, man, we just got
All
tons
sorts of
different
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Brock
man.
takes that one again. I mean, he's been their big player, but right now he looks gassed out there. He's been running and running, getting hit nonstop tonight. I mean, he had that big run in the first half, but since then he's, 3, 4, 10 yards at a time, and that's a lot of hits to take in a night.
Interesting placement there with the position for number 37. Fitzpatrick is usually a DB, and they're saying the ball is out. Mishawaka says they have it on that run. And there you have it. It's going the other way. That was Tristan Garcia who hopped on the football. And that is a huge win for the Cavemen. They're just demoralizing for the Warsaw Tigers as they take over. They're at the 40-yard line.
Well, and that's Fitzpatrick we just talked about. He hasn't played that much tonight.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him at all in the film we watched.
He's not primarily a fullback, no.
So he's getting that ball up the middle, and that's a hard position to play in any offense, let alone this offense. And so that turnover is going to be a big, big drive killer there as they really needed points.
Mr. Rundle, I'm really surprised that they put Dalen Fitzpatrick in there. I mean, he's a linebacker, but linebacker corner and putting him at fullback.
Yeah, on the roster, he's not even listed as a fullback.
Yeah. So now Mishawaka will take over. As we said, at the 40-yard line, handoff up the middle. Caden O'Neill can always count on him being the ball carrier there. They don't interchange Mishawaka. They keep Caden O'Neill on the field, and he shows them why every single time he touches the football. 4-yard gain, 43-yard line is where the ball is placed. 2nd and 6.
I wouldn't be surprised soon as the clock runs down if they don't try to get some other players in here. You don't want to celebrate too early, but you're up 3 touchdowns, your clock under 7 minutes. I'm sure they're going to see, oh, wow, that looked like a broken play. That Snyder's just going to go down. You can see it here. He's going back. It looked like he wanted to hand this off. Oh, that's the last play.
Not what you want, but what you did see on your screen is Landon, he wanted to hand it off, and Kano just keeps running like it's a fake. So he, shields it in real quick, so it's not a fumble, and then tries to run something there, but it looked like a broken play, not drawn up at all.
Defense celebrating over here on the sideline.
A lot to celebrate about. That one's up the middle again. Caden O'Neill short of the 50, but they'll say he'll get the first down, I believe.
I don't think so. This guy on this side.
Oh, no. I think you're right. I'm thinking it's a first down, but they're hesitant. Yeah, they'll say it's a first down.
That was close. The ref on the far side was definitely giving him a first. The ref on the near side was definitely calling him short, and so I'm surprised they gave him a first down.
I was looking at the guy there on the far side, and head official says, okay, he's over.
Yeah, I definitely think he came up short of that first. We're right on that line. We, most of the field we don't see.
Yep. And that ball's up the middle again. Caden O'Neill, he's got some room, trying to catch up to him, and there's no chance. Caden O'Neill sprints his way into the end zone and extends the Cavemen lead. This is a massacre
here. They just keep showing the same play over and over again here as we're going to try to get that fixed. But Yeah, I mean, that's untouched to the end zone, right? And that can't happen if you're the Warsaw defense when you know that ball is going to one of two people, right? It's Landon Snyder, it's Caden O'Neal all night, and you just let him break a big one to score that long touchdown run.
That's a huge play there. I mean, they just had a number of gigantic plays. I mean, almost blocked there that point after, but Blake Vandenberg stands tall, puts that one to the uprights, and the Cavemen are in phenomenal shape right now. Nothing to be upset about in any way. I mean, just playing great in all facets of the game. They're up by 28 now. 4 possessions the Cavemen lead by. With 5:26 remaining, the Tigers still sit there at 14. There was a time, folks, in this game, and that late first quarter, early second quarter, where we were like, this may be a ball game. 1 possession game, tied up at one point as well. And the Cavemen do what they've done all year long, and they just pull away. Coach Keith Kinder looking like he's going to go ahead and get this victory over Coach Bart Curtis. It'll make their series 3-3. Mishawaka and Warsaw tied up after this one. If the Cavemen can hang on to this one, and I'll go ahead and say that they will. Again, 5:26 remaining, and now Warsaw, you're playing for dignity. This is not what you foresaw going into this football game. It was one that we were all excited for. Now, yes, we saw what happened against Concord. We say, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. But we also look back and say, okay, Fort Wayne Snyder, they play well against them. And then Warren Central, they play well against them. 28-14 was the final of that one. And they had an opportunity to go down and make it a 1-score possession late in that game. Yeah, it's not what you're expecting, but that's what's going on right now. The Tigers, like I said, playing for dignity. You're trying to build off of something going into next week. And the Cavemen, man, what a confidence booster this is for them. This one booted away, and that's Reed. Got his name right finally.
Way to go.
Cutting inside, making guys miss, stumbles forward just past the 25-yard line. And, man, is Will Mason excited. A lot to be excited about. He's glad to get in there and help out with that tackle.
Teams, you don't always get the accolades as he runs over the sidelines. But right now, Cavemen, like you said, they have a lot to feel good about. And they've got 2 games where they feel confident that they'll be able to get a little bit healthy. Plymouth right now down big at Northwood, and that's who the Cavemen go to play at next week is Plymouth, and then Wawassee's coming here in 2 weeks right before sectional. So maybe make sure you get healthy. Yeah, you want to play hard and win those games, but you feel pretty confident that you can go into those games and win.
That's right.
New quarterback, new running backs, all new people here, Daniel.
And we're gonna
this is your test.
We get it right. We're going to make sure we get it right. Let's go ahead and get that quarterback right away. That's Brady Sawyer there, number 3, the sophomore out there at the quarterback position. And, I mean, you kind of expect this. Less than 5 minutes left. You're down by 4 scores. You're seeing backups come in.
Right.
He runs it up the middle for no gain on the first play of the series. And that one, he's going to keep it himself, he's going to hand that one off, and he's going to get some room, stumble forward past the 45, out of bounds at the 46. My apologies, folks. That's Wyatt Harmon there on the run, outside left, just rides the sideline off the toss from Sawyer, and just, you see he's stumbling, but not until Amir Dean knocks him out of bounds does he stop. Then they're going to mark him at the 47, actually, not the 46, with 4:36 remaining.
Well, and now it's about building momentum, right? You got to make sure you go into next week a little bit more prepared, and you got to finish the season strong. Right now, if you're the Cavemen, your first goal was to go undefeated. You lost that game to Penn, but now your second goal is to win the NLC, and right now they're in a good position to do that.
And Sawyer just beat up by Camden Putz.
No.
And Ken Clemente.
Oh, yeah, Clemente got there first.
That's that 6-7 duo. They're getting it done. Camden Putz, Ken Clemente are 2 of the best linebackers in the NLC.
Yeah, I mean, they just are all over the place. Every coach we've talked to this season talks about those 2. And for some reason, they always talk about Camden Putz, and then they say number 7.
Yeah.
Right? They always say number 7. And I wonder if that's because Clemente is just so fast and talented. They're like, we don't want to scare anybody. We don't want to say the names, right? One of those
Maybe that's
Beetlejuice
why.
things, you know.
Maybe
It's been
that's
every
why.
coach, though.
Every coach that we've interviewed so far this year. It's odd.
I think part of it, Clemente didn't play much of last year,
That's
right?
right.
He was hurt. There was other things.
But Cam's been out there since he was a freshman at some point.
Right.
So we got the timeout there. They're going to take that one off of Warsaw, and they're going to regroup and try to figure this thing out. Again, now you're not playing to win the football game with 4 minutes left. You're playing to build momentum, like you said, going into next week. What's something we can do and make our young quarterback and, honestly, everybody on the sideline feel a little bit better about what happened today.
We're going to get a couple score updates, some scores around the area. A lot of blowouts tonight. This one's kind of turned that way here in the second half. It was 21-14 at halftime, and the Cavemen have extended that, scoring 21 straight points here in the second half. Isaiah Eggleston, what do we got for scores?
We got Concord versus Goshen. 42-0 is your final. Northridge and Wawasee in the fourth quarter. Northridge leading 34-7. Northwood leading Plymouth 41-7. Penn Elkhart had a final. Penn won it 37-12. St. Joseph leading 21-0 over Riley.
And that is it. Thank you, Isaiah. And right there, good tackle, good play.
Yep.
And then you push the player at the end of the play and get a personal foul.
Ken Clemente goes ahead, gets the wrap-up tackle
Throws
over
him
Reed,
down.
and you push.
I mean, you just
Reed
saw it.
afterwards,
Like, I
and-
mean, that's an easy call. And Coach Kinder, those are things he doesn't like. We talked to him about last week, those things at the end of the game. But that's just a good play. You made a good play. You made the tackle. The guy gets up. Doesn't look like there's anything happening between them and just a shove. And those are things that in this game, is it going to matter? No. But in a sectional final, a regional, where you have aspirations to try to get to a state final, you've been close for a couple years now, and you had chances, and plays like that can really cost you.
Yes, it can. We see a Tiger on the ground now getting treated, injured. Got Liam Kennedy. Trying to figure this one out here.
Yeah, we had an injury there.
It looks like he's going to get helped off the field. He's walking, which is good. And, yeah, like you said about those personal foul calls and everything, and those flags just can't happen. Now, maybe Reed did say something to Clemente. It doesn't really matter. You
Right.
have to,
Even watching that, it doesn't look like much, even if it is. I mean, it's paying attention. It's knowing the times and plays, and you're up big. Right now, you've got your starting defense still out there for the most part, some subs in there. You just got to play smart. Like, I know you're hyped up, you're excited, but we talk about it. Those penalties can kill you.
And also, let's be clear. This is when it comes to anything, but especially usually the sport of football, you got to have a thick skin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, any sport, you're going to have the stuff. You're going to have to hear things and do things. And we see what happens in some of those situations, and you got to make sure you're paying attention to those things as we see this replay here. Lots of things going on. Daniel, just to do a quick wrap-up of kind of fall sports season, volleyball will be playing a couple games next week, but they're done with their home games. They had senior night last night. The football team will have a couple more games. We talked about girls golf, boys tennis are finished up. So fall sports are starting to wrap up. Boys and girls soccer will have sectionals coming up this coming week. But after this play, we're going to get some updates on streams for next week on the Mishawaka Network.
That toss outside, Harmon, and the Caveman defense is just there. Preciado, the first one, they get to Harmon and just brings him down just past the 30-yard line. They'll mark him at the 29.
Yeah, good rally as the Cavemen have been able to rally and tackle Harmon there. Good job. Multiple Cavemen getting there. This coming week, got a couple streams. First on Wednesday, you can watch the School City of Mishawaka School Board meeting. That'll be at Beaker. The school board meetings at the schools are kind of fun. They do some presentations. They talk about the schools. This one at Beaker, so you'll see some things with Ms. Kozik, the principal there. On Thursday, first concert of the season, as we'll be streaming the choir concert from the auditorium.
Awesome. That run up the middle of the fullback, and he's going to be brought down quickly. That was number 43, I believe, Duncan again. Oh, excuse me, no, never mind, number 44.
Maybe it's Duncan. I don't know.
I thought I saw 43.
Yeah, it was 43. You're right, Duncan.
And he's going to charge off the field now. So we got number 37 coming back in.
Just a choir concert coming up. We've got 2 Mishawaka choir members who were named to the All-State Honor Choir.
That's right.
Anna Yoder, Corin Shepley. Corin playing football here for the Cavemen. Anna is in broadcasting capstone class. He's still going. Fitzpatrick gets a big gain there.
Yep.
So that's an exciting honor. It's 2 Mishawaka Cavemen. We've had a couple in the past, but this year having 2 has been kind of fun. That was just announced this week. So
it's a very big deal. Very proud of both of them as a community. Very high honor. Corin Shepley actually scored the highest tenor score throughout the entire state.
There you go.
A big deal.
A lot of yelling on the sideline there from the Caveman coaching staff as they were trying to get Nick Salvato into the game, number 30, and he was not ready as there he goes onto the field.
There he goes. And Fitzpatrick's going to gain 5 yards there and cut down on those 10 yards they had originally on that first, and now they're trying to look to score.
Yeah, we are under a minute here as Warsaw is heading towards the end zone here. Cavemen going to win comfortably. It was a close game at halftime, a 7-point gain at the half, and the Cavemen have pulled away steadily throughout the second half. Fitzpatrick's going to score. He's still standing up in the end zone.
He's there. He gets through.
So Warsaw scores a touchdown.
Pretty unscathed, too, I got to say.
I mean, he ran into a couple of guys, but he spun out and didn't go down.
So Warsaw, they're going to try to get this extra point to go. Under a minute left and cut down on this Caveman lead. This freshman kicker can get this one to go and stay away from Camden putts, then he'll go ahead and cut the Caveman point total in half. That kick is up and good. The extra point will count. And now the score will be 42-21 in favor of the Mishawaka Cavemen. With that, 41 seconds remaining. Make sure to come right back to us. We'll be bringing you the last couple of seconds of this matchup. Cavemen leading by 3 possessions here. We'll bring all of that and more back to you coming back on the Mishawaka Network.
Get your costumes ready for the Mishawaka Trunk or Treat. It's a safe, fun, and spooky good time for all elementary students. Join us Saturday, October 4th, held in the staff parking lot at Mishawaka High School from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. for an evening of treats, decorated cars, and costumes. The Mishawaka Education Foundation is looking for candy donations to help make this event a success. Your help makes a difference, and we'll see you there.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back here to Mishawaka, Indiana. We got 41 seconds remaining in this ball game. The Cavemen have really dominated this one against an opponent that we were expecting to see take them maybe to a 1-score fourth quarter thriller, but no, they get this done in pretty dominant fashion, and Brian Houston's going to go ahead and signal a fair catch.
Well, he called a fair catch, and then nobody blew a whistle, and they kept coming, so he said, I'm going to go down to the knee, make sure I don't get hit here.
So he takes the knee and kind of saves him a little bit so he doesn't get hit. And 38 seconds now, 3 seconds taken off that clock, and they're just going to go ahead and probably get in victory formation, nail this one out.
Yeah, a lot of hugging on the sideline. Cam Putt's hyped. The coaches are smiling, and that's a good sign if you're a Mishawaka fan. And right now, you've got lofty expectations and lofty goals as a Caveman fan. That sectional got a little bit harder this year. Last year's, Northwood was pretty good, but Northridge plays you tough. Northwood's tough. St. Joe is having a big year, big comeback. Coach Downey over there has the kneel down should end it.
Yeah, it will.
Coach Curtis, Coach Kinder walking out onto the field as the teams will line up to shake hands.
And I'm sure that's a good feeling for that entire Cayman sideline. I mean, getting the win over one of the better teams in the NLC, and also kind of getting your get back a little bit from last season, losing by 8.
Right.
So as the clocks tick down, we see the Cavemen prevail here at home. They continue their streak of scoring 35-plus points here at Steel Stadium.
They're shaking hands there. We're going to wrap up this game. Here we are in the press box. Daniel, we're the same height, man. Like, can you believe that?
He's kneeling down if he can, so.
We're having a good time here in the press box. Big win for the Cavemen. We had an interesting night here on our broadcast. A lot of things we're going to work out for senior night coming up in 2 weeks as the Cavemen have 2 more regular season games before sectionals will start. What are your final thoughts on the game, Daniel?
Final thoughts, Cavemen do a great job on the offensive end like they have all season long. Caden O'Neal, a huge impact player. Landon Snyder coming through with some huge plays. And obviously, you talk about Coach Curtis saying, okay, it's going to depend a lot on the quarterback, and boy, do we see that.
Yeah.
We saw that a lot. Landon Snyder, like I just said, made so many huge plays.
Absolutely.
And then on the other side, Brock made some good plays. We saw some light shining through, and then we saw some other things that they definitely want to talk about going into next week.
Yes, it's 42-21. It was not close towards the end. Here's the thing. They had chances again. We saw Concord. Yeah, they lost big. Here they've lost big, but they've had chances. They holding on that big touchdown throw, right? You've got some things that happen that if you get some of those things figured out, they've got a sectional that's winnable. Concord's there, and Concord looks really tough. But we saw that Concord, it got away from them, and I think if they get some things to go their ways, make some plays that they had open, they're in those games. So both these teams have some things to work on. The Cavemen look very strong right now as they try to head over to win sectionals, regionals, semi-state is the one that keeps getting in their way.
That's right. So we'll see how they prevail throughout the entirety of the season. I mean, they've been playing great so far. Only they lost to Penn, where honestly it kind of was like a fourth quarter thing, and Penn just got the best of them. So they're in good shape. I'm sure Coach Kinder's very confident. Players very confident. The entire community, I know we are confident. Let's see if they can keep this train rolling. Again, final score 42-21. Mr. Reno, anything to add?
No, I think you said it all. Team's confident. Coaches are confident as they head to Plymouth next week to take on the Rockies.
Awesome. Cavemen get it done by 3 possessions here. Thank you very much to all those who viewed. We're signing off here. Daniel Phillips, Matt Randall on the Mishawaka.